tonight at Baxter Springs, and the Raiders, feeling pretty good about themselves about that big win over to the Titans by a score of 20-8. And the Lions, lost to Parsons 24-21, but would like to put a damper on the Raiders into the regular season, so it should be an interesting contest. A good crowd on senior night here at Baxter Springs, and I tell you, earlier this week, I talked with Frontenac coach Mark Smith about tonight's game against Baxter Springs, and we'll be back with that conversation after we take a 2-minute break, and you're listening to High School Football on 103.5 FM.
Does your current checking account pay you up to $15 per month? With Common Sense Checking at University Bank, you can earn up to $15 per statement cycle, 10 cents for each swipe after the first 15 swipes. Qualifying is so easy. Simply have one direct deposit or auto payment plus 15 debit card purchases each statement cycle and a $100 opening deposit. Stop by the bank for more information about our Common Sense Checking. Then swipe and save. It's convenience that pays at University Bank. Branch GMB. Member FDIC.
Larry Barrett Body Frame and Towing can tow all cars, trucks, and some semi-tractors and trailers in town or cross country. Larry Barrett has emergency wrecker service for all accidents, 24-hour towing. Been in an accident? Then call the pros. They have quality auto body repairing and painting from certified technicians for all major and minor repair jobs, and they can deal directly with the insurance companies, taking the stress out of your life. Go to barrettbodyframe.com or stop in and see them at 1601 East 27th Street Terrace or call 232-9400. That's Larry Barrett Body Frame and Towing. Customer service first. See them fast in names and numbers.
Hi, this is Dr. Brent Cousins with SEK Urgent Care. When you're sick, when you're injured, or when you just don't feel like yourself, SEK Urgent Care is here for you. Let our skilled providers treat your non-life-threatening illness or injury at a fraction of the time and cost of an ER visit. Located at the corner of Centennial and Broadway in the Meadowbrook Commons, open 7 days a week for your convenience. SEK Urgent Care, where your family and time matter. Find us fast in names and numbers.
Marone's Food Service Incorporated wishes the best of luck to all area athletic teams this season. It has been their pleasure to provide great quality food products to area schools, colleges, and universities in Kansas, Oklahoma, and Missouri. Marone's Food Service is proud to be a fourth-generation family-owned and operated business with over 80 years of service to their customers, employees, families, and communities. Good luck to all area teams from Marone's.
It's time for the Frontenac Coaches Corner. I'm Rob Strand, talking with Raiders head coach Mark Smith. Frontenac improves to 5-3 overall, 2-0 in district play with a big 20-8 win over Columbus at home last Friday. And coach, a big win for the Raiders.
Oh, it was a tremendous win for our kids. I mean, you just saw the excitement in their eyes after the game. And that's something we've been looking for all year, just a complete full-quarter game against a great team in Columbus. Not a lot of people probably picked us to win that game, but our kids came out and played tremendously hard and really fought hard all game, just gave us chances to win the game, and our defense was tremendous all night.
And we talked after the game. You look at all three phases of the game, and I guess you get a check mark in all three for the win over Columbus.
Yeah, we can. On special teams, we didn't have some great punts and yardage-wise, but Trey pinned him inside the 10 twice, which kind of makes it tough to score against the team when you got to go over 90 yards. His kickoff, he had a few touchbacks, which were huge after touchdowns. Our defense, set the tone the entire game. They kept a great running back in May all night. So I think he only had 40-some yards on 17 carries or something. So our defense was tremendous. Our linebackers were flying the ball. Our secondary didn't give up any big plays. So offense kind of fed off what the defense was doing, and we probably could have scored one or two more times in the first half, and we just turned the ball over on inside the 20 and then had a fumble punt return. So our offense played well. We just got to keep getting better with the turnover thing, but we kept complimenting each other, and that was good to see.
And, again, you got off to a good start. You got off to that lead, and that's always a good sign.
Oh, it's huge when you get off to a good start. Get your kids some confidence. We got the ball after a good stop by our defense and had a great drive. Jake Wilbert ran the ball extremely hard. He had over 10 yards after contact. We didn't throw a lot last week, but when we did, we were successful with it. He keeps getting better and better. Brogdon he's had a tremendous 4 or 5 weeks at receiver. People are starting to key on him, which is opening up our running game, that's what we want, just a little balance and make it hard for the defense to know what we're doing. So a great start lets you do whatever you want on offense as well.
And up next for the Raiders on the road, you head to Baxter Springs, take on the Lions, who come in at 4-4 and 0-2 in district play, coming off a loss to Parsons. And, boy, they'd like nothing more than to spoil the season for the Raiders there at the end of the regular season.
Oh, without a doubt, Baxter will come out senior night playing extremely hard. They're very big up front, very physical. So we're going to have to be strong up front. We got to be able to run the ball with the weather coming in. It's going to be pretty cold on Friday night. We'll use our team speed and try to get to the edge a little bit, try to make some big plays. But it's going to come down to the line of scrimmage like it always does. And if we can play like we did last week with the physicality and energy, I think we'll be okay.
And you look at the film or video, a big physical team, especially in that line, and a lot of seniors there. They got a lot of veterans playing.
They do. I think they're a little banged up with a few kids, but big seniors that they're going to play extremely hard on their senior night. And they got some good athletes in the white kid at quarterback. So he can throw the ball if you let him get outside the pocket. So we got to be disciplined and just do our job on defense. But I think we're up for the challenge, and I'm more excited to see what it takes us for the playoffs.
And a few bumps and bruises. How are you health-wise?
Yeah, we came out banged out last week. Drew Cummins is going to be out a couple of weeks, hopefully. That's it. But he's been playing extremely well at D-line. He hurt his knee, and then Riley McDaniel broke his hand, so he might be out this week and be able to play in the playoffs. We're just going to keep him out for precaution. But other than that, I think everybody's in a little tough situation right now in Week 9, so we're just going to have to battle through it. And guys are going to have to step up and help us out.
Frontenac coach Mark Smith, thanks for talking with us. Good luck at Baxter Springs. We'll talk to you after the game.
Customer first, safety always. It's not just a tagline, it's the Watco way. By focusing on safety, each and every day they build a future by protecting their customers, team members, community, and the environment. When Watco moves commodities by rail, river, and road, at home or across North America and Australia, their priority is to ensure that they deliver their loads safely and on time. Watco wishes all area teams a safe and successful season.
What's the buzz around Community National Bank and Trust? They're talking mobile banking, instant issue debit cards, rewards checking and credit cards, and let's not forget e-power checking, paying better than CD-like rates on a checking account, plus nationwide ATM fee refunds. Get in on the buzz. Community National Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
I had no idea you did that.
That's what I said when I learned CDL does more than just electrical work. Like plumbing, heat and air, security cameras and alarms, generators, solar panels, even signs for my business. CDL really is one company that has a solution for about everything in my home and business. Learn more at cdlsolution.com.
Now accepting new clients. At the Pet Care and Surgery Center, Dr. James Clark believes all of our pets deserve kind, humane, and loving treatment. From a simple checkup or rabies vaccination to performing major surgery. Plus, Dr. Clark has boarding, grooming, nutrition, and wellness checkups. Dr. James Clark can provide that loving member of your family with the treatment they deserve. Call 620-308-6454 to set up an appointment or simply visit petcarecenter.org. Pet Care and Surgery, making a difference.
And Rob Strand back with Randy Southard. We're at Baxter Springs, the Lions hosting the Frontenac Raiders, the end of the regular season and the district play. And CNC battle between the Raiders and the Lions, and the Raiders coming out, getting ready for the start of this contest on what feels like football weather. It is dry, and I'm guessing the turf's going to be pretty quick. Now, a little different temperature-wise than it's been. We've been spoiled this year as far as the weather goes. It's been rather warm, but feeling more like football here, and it should be an interesting contest. And, the Raiders tried to build on that big win over Columbus last Friday, and, of course, the Lions lost to Parsons, so they're trying to wrap up the regular season. And you want to go over the starting lineups here quick before we get to the kickoff?
Sure. For the Baxter Springs Lions on offense, the starting center is senior Kenny Herrenbrook. 2 guards, senior Blythe Ipock and senior A.J. Himes. The 2 tackles, senior Jace Flood and senior Justin Schneiders. The starting tight end is sophomore Zach Hill. The wide receiver is senior Stefan Namello. The 2 running backs, senior Narcisco Ortiz and freshman Gage Piper. Starting tailback is senior Tyler Price, and the starting quarterback is junior Trey White. For the defense of the Frontenac Raiders, the 2 defensive tackles, senior Trey Harris and senior Andrew Mays. 2 defensive ends, senior Brock Ginnivan and senior Kyle Strand. 2 middle linebackers, junior Gage Clothier and senior Jordan Ishimura. The 2 starting cornerbacks are junior Brendan Ishimura and sophomore Brant Chance. 2 safeties, sophomore Alex Johnson and senior Cooper Loy, and the free safety is senior Jake Wilbert.
So those are starting lineups for this contest, and again, mentioned the Raiders out here and waiting for the arrival of the Lions on senior night, and again, you hear all the Raiders contest on 103.5 FM and live stream at ESPN1007.com. Also, live stream of Pittsburgh as they are playing host to Kansas City, Washington tonight at Hutch Field in Pittsburgh. Ending up actually kind of starting the playoffs the way they seed that Class 5A. So, and then if we can get past that one, then be playing again next Friday. So, 'tis the season. We're getting to the postseason, and should be kind of interesting. What about the keys to tonight's game between the Raiders and the Lions?
Well, I think if you're, from the Frontenac point of view on offense, they need to come out fast tonight and try to really end this thing early. Jump on them quick and put doubt into Baxter. Get that running game going like they did last week. Had their best running attack of the season last week. Wilbert ended up with 199 yards, easily a season high. And then the other thing I think they'll want to do is by formation like they did last week. They want to get Ginnivan one-on-one with a corner on the outside, and they can do that by formation as far as splitting him out to the far side all by himself. And so look for the Raiders to try to get Ginnivan the ball again. Defensively for the Raiders, penetration to stop the running game. That's predominantly what Baxter wants to do, is run the football out of, it's basically an inverted wishbone. Is kind of how they'll run it. They'll do lead, they'll do a counter, and they'll do a trap, and that's almost about it as far as the run game goes. So you got to get penetration into the backfield. Use your speed on that defensive line to get that penetration, get everything stopped before they get things rolling. Baxter Springs, they're going to use that big offensive line to try to road grader the Raiders tonight. That would be my plan if I were them. They're very big up front. They're not... I wouldn't call them slow. They're not the most agile linemen, but I wouldn't really call them slow either. They will cut block a lot as well, and I'll be interested to see if there are any chop blocks, some high-low blocks tonight. As I saw a couple on film last week that weren't called, so it's kind of a dangerous play, but they'll use those cut blocks pretty effectively. Defensively for Baxter, they really need to tackle well one-on-one. If they get a guy, one man to make a tackle, they've got to bring him down. They cannot give up big plays. They got to do whatever they can to limit the Raiders' big plays tonight.
So those are some of the keys to tonight's battle between the Raiders and the Lions. Again, the Raiders out warming up prior to kickoff and waiting the arrival of the Lions. And again, end of the regular season, end of district play, and of course the CNC League battle. And of course, we'll also keep an eye on some of the other goings-on, other games in the area, trying to keep you up to date on some scores. Of course, some of the games played last night is amongst the winners, Girard as well as Colgan. And we'll try and keep you up to date on that. And also, of course, we'll keep you running the stats. And also, I guess we could check up on some of the Frontenac girls at the state volleyball tournament underway there, so we'll kind of update on what things going up Salina way. And here come the Baxter Springs Lions on senior night, and the Lions in their home red jerseys, red pants with red helmets, white trim and numerals, and the Raiders in their visiting white jerseys with black pants and the black helmets, black trim and numerals. And a big game. And, you got to be cautious. Of course, they had the big game against Columbus, and you're already hosting a playoff game next Friday against Girard. So, boy, this is one of those so-called. I guess the phrase is a trap game now is the in phrase, but you got to be concerned. That's why I think the Raiders got to get off to a quick start.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I was thinking about that, and but so far the Raiders have had several games where they were heavily favored, and they didn't come out flat. In fact, they came out, ultra aggressive and ended things really early. That makes me confident that they'll do the same thing tonight. But, that's just it. This game, other than just how your record looks, there's nothing to play for tonight for Frontenac. And if you're Baxter, all they can, if they win tonight, they can say they beat a playoff team. And that can maybe help kickstart them for next year.
And the captains to the center of the field. And trying to see who we got for the Baxter Springs Lions. That is, they got Jace Flood out there along with Kenny Herrenbrook, also A.J. Himes and Narciso Ortiz. Frontenac Raiders, Brock Ginnivan, also Peyton Brown, Jordan Ishmir, and Cal Strand. And the white hat, a flip of the coin. And I'm trying to see. Wind was supposed to die down. I can't really see the flag. It's kind of.
It did. I was out of the press box during the national anthem, Rob, and the flag was completely limp. So it's cool tonight, but the wind has really died down. Shouldn't be a factor.
And the coin toss. Baxter Springs wins the toss. They'll defer. Take choice in the second half. The Raiders want the football to start things off, so Frontenac will have the football, be on O. Lions will be on D, and ready to wrap up the regular season as the Raiders visit the Lions prior to the start of the postseason next Friday. Again, Frontenac will be home against Girard, and Girard knocked off Iowa by a score of 25-0 last night. The other district game going on tonight, you've got Columbus playing host to Parsons. And again, feeling like the football weather. I don't know, trying to see what we've got for the temperature. And I know you mentioned, of course, at this time with this, 41 degrees, a little cool. But, boy, if you had a wind from this afternoon going, you'd notice it a lot more. I know that.
Well, I think it helps that this field is, down in a bowl below the parking lot. I think that helps it get it out of the wind as well, just as much as the wind was supposed to die down. So, yeah, I don't think the weather will be any kind of a factor in the game tonight. The players aren't going to notice any of the cold once they're out there running around and playing, so shouldn't be anything to it.
And again, at halftime, we'll have some of the stats and scoring summary and look at some of the other goings-on as the other Raiders student-athletes in action today. And post-game, we'll, of course, have Raiders coach Mark Smith up here and look at the stats and scoring summary. And the Lions to kick off. Teed up at the 40-yard line back to receive the kick. Drops Brendan Ishimura. Also back there is Alex Johnson and Brant Chance. Teed up at the 40-yard line. We're ready for some football. Raiders and the Lions, and the approach, and pops it up short. Yep, back takes it, and I believe there's that Clothier took that, and Johnson took it, and boy, he got popped as he crossed the 35-yard line.
Yeah, short kick. Johnson, good job fielding it, just took it up, got what he could, and nice starting field position at looks like about the 36.
Raiders will start 1st and 10, and actually after they marked it, they may have gotten to 37 on that return from Alex Johnson. Nope. So, like I said, good starting field position. Trips come wide to the right side. Ishimir out there along with Jake Wilbert and Brock Ginnivan. Tight to the left is Zach Roseboro. Out of the gun, that's Peyton Brown. Blocking back to his left is Cooper Loy, quick hitch, that's complete to Ginnivan, gets a block, turns the corner, 40, 45, and he's finally wrestled out near the 48-yard line. He's got a first down, a gain of 11.
And you could see this coming because the free safety did not come over very far with the three receivers, so they had a weak safety out there and a corner out there. The Raiders had him out man. Now the safety did a good job coming over and didn't allow the huge play. But that's an adjustment they're going to have to make, sliding another man over, because Raiders just had him outmanned.
1st and 10 Raiders from their own 48-yard line. Running backs flanking. Brown give to Wilbert, tries the right side, nothing there, stop for no gain.
Yeah, and tried to bounce this to the outside where he may have had a hole on the inside. They pulled the backside tackle, and he got a good kick-out block that he was supposed to run under. Wilbert decided to try to go to the outside and didn't get anything out of it.
2nd and 10 Raiders from their own 48-yard line. Opening moments. Splitting out left side goes Wilbert. Slot left is Ginnivan. Wide right Ishimura. Again, Brown out of the gun with Lloyd the blocking back to his right. Motion left to right Wilbert. And it's a halfback option. Man wide open. Puts it up for Ishimura. He has to wait on it. Catches it at the 20, 15, 10, 5. Tripped up. And he got down about the 2-yard line.
Well, and this thing's set up really well. It's the jet sweep. And Ishimura does a good job of acting like he's going to block and then takes off down the sideline wide open. And, I know this ball hung up in the air, but I don't mind Wilbert just putting it up there. You get the completion for sure. And then good hustle by Baxter to catch Ishimura, but still a big play all the way down to the 2. So a great play call to starting the game out.
Raiders 1st and goal from the Lions 2. Loy, running back with Brown. They fake the give. Brown tries left side, dives, and gets in for the score. Raiders lead at 6-0. Extra point coming up. Brown from 2.
Yeah, and kind of a zone read look. He's reading at the jet sweep. The end on the defense came up the field pretty hard. Brown with the right read, and then just kind of snuck underneath everybody to get in for the score. So good job by Brown.
So the extra point attempt coming up. Trey Harris, well, they're waiting for the tee to be thrown from the sideline, and Harris finally tracks it down, gives it to the holder, Jake Wilbert. Let's see if we're getting anywhere near on the, apparently not looking at the clock. The official led to the upright. There's a kick plenty long enough, and that one is good. So the Raiders out to a 7-0 lead. We'll be back in 30 seconds. You're listening to high school football on 103.5 FM.
Having a confident smile can change everything, and Invisalign makes that decision easy because you can have a stunning smile without most people even knowing you're going through treatment. Saya Smile Center is proud to be a premier provider of Invisalign. Your Invisalign treatment will consist of a series of aligners that you switch out every 2 weeks. Each aligner will gradually shift your teeth perfectly into place, giving you the smile you always dreamed of. Call Saya Smile Center today for your no-cost consultation. Saya Smile Center, 4095 Parkview Drive in Frontenac, 620-231-7242.
Rob Strandbeck with Randy Southard. Frontenac, the 7-0 lead with 10:42 left first quarter. Trey Harris to kick off, tees it up at the 40. Back to receive the kick is Stephen Namalo along with Narciso Ortiz. And a short kick, and the return out to the 38-yard line. So good field position for the Lions to start. As actually on that return for the Lions was Gage Piper.
And odd to kick the ball so short by the Raiders, and I can't imagine he mishit it because he kicked it up in the air, but odd to try to give him that kind of field position.
So the Lions will start 1st and 10 from their own 39-yard line, and out of the gun, wide, quick out, and it is complete. And on the receiving end is Stephen Namalo, and he is drilled out at the 46-yard line after a gain of close to 7.
Yeah, just a good quick hitch there, and chance in for the injured Riley McDaniel. And he did a good job though coming up on it. You don't want to give him the deep ball, so you'll give him the hitch. But it's a good positive play for Baxter on first down.
2nd and 3 for the Lions from their own 46-yard line. Again, White, the quarterback. There's the give to Ortiz. Has some room right side, and he crosses into Raider territory down at the 49-yard line. He's got a first down.
Yeah, that offensive line able to get on the defensive line. Got some push. When the line ends up 3 or 4 yards downfield, probably going to be a positive play for your back.
So 1st and 10, Lions in Raider territory at the 49-yard line. Frontenac the 7-0 lead early. Lions on the move. Coming out wide to the left is Namalo. Again, the inverted wishbone behind the quarterback, White. Some movement now in motion right to left goes Page. There's a give. Now rolling left is White looking to throw. Pressured. Puts the ball up and it is up for grabs. And a nice catch. Boy, the Namalo made the adjustment as Ishimura was thinking, had designs on an interception, and the receiver went up and got the football.
Well, Ishimura looked like the receiver pretty much the entire time on this play, but the ball put up in the air. He just didn't recognize where the wide receiver was coming from, and he cut underneath him, now jumped him for the ball. So great athletic play for Baxter, and you really can't fault Ishimura on that. Had excellent coverage and position, just got out-battled.
1st and 10, Lions down to the Raiders' 17-yard line. Wide out to both sides. Again, that inverted wishbone with White the center, give right side, and that is Ortiz. And penalty flag in the area where you may get, the hold? Or maybe there was some movement.
Yeah,
that was shift.
Yeah, right now at the right side of the line, getting a little bit of push. Now, Ginnivan did a good job coming off of his man and making the tackle. But, so far not a lot of penetration by the defensive line.
So the mark-off will go. Oh, wait a minute. It's not marked right, is it?
Well, no.
No, that's about a 10-yard mark-off. There we go. Yeah. Okay, now we'll go 1st and 15.
We thought we had last week's officials.
Yeah, Lions from the Raiders' 22-yard line. Again, wide out to both sides. White Jr. under the center. And they'll give the trap and able to turn the corner now. Oh, boy, a nice open field tackle by Ishimura. So he had something going there. A pretty nice run there by Gage Piper. But, boy, he was actually stopped for a gain of only a couple. Could have been worse.
Yeah, Ishimura, again, last week showed that he is capable of coming up, supporting the run, making a tackle, and coming up big this time, because if he misses him, there's nobody else there. The Raiders have gone to kind of a 5-man line and 3 linebackers, almost a 5-3 look to load up against the run. But it gave kind of a soft edge on the near side. They'd been running right. They come left this time, try to get outside, had the corner. If it wasn't for Ishimura, it would have been a big one. So good job by Jordan.
2nd and 13, Lions from the 20 of the Raiders, rolling right, wide, looking to throw, pressure, got a man open. It is complete. That is Ortiz. And then he is planted down about the 12-yard line.
Good job at closing to the ball. And now this is where you end up with a little bit of trouble with that 5-man front, because normally the safety would have the flat and have that covered, but he's walked up on the line, so now he's more inclined to rush the passer, which he did, and he forced the quick throw, but he's not out in the flat to take care of the receiver. So it's a wide open play, setting up the 3rd and about 4 now. And obviously here you're talking 2 downs to try to get the first down.
Lions at the Raiders' 12-yard line. Wide left goes Namalo. Got it tight to the right. Again, the inverted bone behind White, the quarterback, under the center. Rolling left, looking to throw. Some pressure, looking over the middle. Puts over the head of the intended receiver. Namalo on the penalty flag down. Are we going to get a roughing the passer?
No, it's a hold.
A hold. Oh. Huge. White did a good job biding his time, tried to motion the receiver to get open, and it looked like he found some space, but just overthrew it.
Yeah, he had a tight window to get that ball in there, and it just sailed on him a little bit. Ginnivan did a good job getting some pressure on the front side, didn't let him roll all the way out. The Raiders a little bit lucky that the receiver just not able to jump high enough, but the penalty would have negated it anyway. And that's a killer penalty because it's from the spot of the foul, not from the original line. So this is going to set up a 3rd and very long.
3rd about 23 looks like in that ballpark, just shy of the Raiders' 30-yard line. So yeah, the hold from the spot, and Raiders of course going to give them 2 more downs, but you got that 23 yards to the first down. This time split backs behind the quarterback White. He's dropping back to pass, looking to set a screen, lofts it up over the middle, and it is almost intercepted off the hands of the intended receiver, as that was Jacob Burks, and boy, it hit Ishimura. I couldn't see if he got helmet or chest or what.
Right off of his helmet, and he was caught in between. Do I go for the hit on the receiver, or do I try to catch the ball? But he was in perfect position either way. So, again, in the right spot, and that's the most important part.
So, 4th and 23 for the Lions. Football just outside the Raiders' 30-yard line. A couple wide outs right along with a slot right. 1 wide left. Out of the gun, White, penalty flag. Oh, it looks like one of the defenders got in the neutral zone. A little over anxious. No, procedure call against the Lions. They got back another 5.
Yeah, they were coming up with the blitz right up the middle, and I don't think he quite got into the neutral zone, but it caused the lineman to flinch because of it.
So 4th and about 28 for the Lions. Football just outside the Raiders' 35-yard line now. Frontenac the 7-0 lead here in the first quarter.
When a promising drive suddenly becomes a difficult one for Baxter.
What's coming wide to the left side is Burks. Also in the slot to the left, that is Piper. Kind of wide out in the slot to the right side. Piper motion left to right. High snap. White comes down. Well, they're going to punt off the side of the foot. He's going to get away from it, and boy, it's a short punt. It's going to go roll dead about the Raiders' 23, maybe the 24-yard line. So Frontenac defense holds, and Raiders will have a 1st and 10. They'll start from their own 23-yard line with a 7-0 lead for the Raiders here with 7 minutes remaining in the first quarter. I'm in a location here where I can't see the clock or the scoreboard, so there's a little tardy on giving you the time. Well, that's my excuse. Wide to the right goes Ginnivan. Slot to the right is Ishimura. Get out of the gun. Lloyd, the blocking back left. Behind him is Wilbert, and there's a give, and that is Wilbert trying the left side. And boy, again, he tried to string it out, and it almost looked like maybe the gap was more toward the inside.
Yeah, no question it is. And maybe last week, getting the all the yards, wanting to bounce it to get the big plays, but certainly the hole was designed to go inside and looked like it was inside. And Wilbert getting up a little slow on the far side, on his feet now, walking over to the bench, kind of grabbing the back of his head, maybe his neck.
So they lost a couple of yards. The Raiders facing a 2nd and 12 from their own 21-yard line. One wide out left, wide out right, and slot to the right side. Again, Brown with the blocking back. Loy now in motion right to left. That's Johnson. They fake the hitch to Ginnivan. Now over the middle, overthrown and incomplete. Boy, they faked the hitch to Ginnivan. He was doing a double move and tried to find Roseboro and threw it over his head.
Well, Brown doesn't get his feet set. He comes off of the initial receiver. He comes back to the other side of the field, but he never got his feet set to throw, and ended up forcing the high throw. And I tell you, if he holds on to it just a little bit longer, he may have had a receiver on that far side down the sideline, but felt they needed to get rid of it.
3rd and 12 Raiders from their own 21. Wide to the right is Shamira. Slot right is Johnson. One wide out to the left, that's Ginnivan. Now in motion right to left is Johnson. They decide to keep it. Does Brown up the middle, and boy, he got popped after a gain of only a couple.
Yeah, he got hammered up the middle. Interesting call, 3rd and long, and I think that was almost a designed run for the quarterback. Just didn't get anything out of it, and this is going to be a 3 and out for the Raiders.
So back to kick, Trey Harris. Now the stop of the clock. Well, we got an injury. One of the Lions coming to the near side holding an arm. And here comes the sideline under his own power, but boy, his left arm looks like he's having a problem there. So punting situation, Harris back there to punt and back to receive the kick is Namalo. He's a senior. Harris stands back at his 8-yard line. Good snap. Kick away, boy, off the side of a foot. Not a real good punt. See with the roll, he does get a roll, and Shamir is down there to down it, and it'll go into Lions territory barely. So Baxter Springs will start 1st and 10, Lions from their own 49-yard line. And the Raiders with a 7-0 lead here in the first quarter.
So good defensive stop for Baxter that time. Stepping up, had good job up the middle on the running plays, stretched one out, got a negative play. So Baxter giving up that early score, then the defense comes to life on the next drive.
See Wilbert back in there on defense, so apparently feeling better. Kind of shaking his head around like maybe a neck or something like that. In any event, Lions will start 1st and 10 from their own 49. Wide out to the right side. Again, the inverted wishbone. And, boy, the pitch and hitch and all pressured and getting away, putting it up for grabs. And this one's going to be picked off. That was Wilbert who was able to come up with it. and it was batted up in the air. There was two defenders there, and Namalo was battling for it, but Wilbur came up with it as they, faked the handoff or gave it to Ortiz, and he pitched it back to White, who actually good pressure in there. Somebody had to get rid of it a lot quicker than he wanted to.
Yeah, it was Loy that came in, and I tell you, he was open early. He was behind the defense. The ball was just underthrown, probably due to the pressure that Loy, put on the quarterback, but the play was there. Underthrown ball, and Wilbert comes up with the INT.
So the Raiders will start 1st and 10 from their own 16-yard line after the turnover. Wide out to both sides. Again, Loy, the blocking back to the left of Brown. Now motion right to left goes Wilbert, and there's a give to Wilbert, trying the left side, and he gets a couple of tough yards, but not much going.
And turned it up the field a little bit better that time. Didn't try to get all the way around to the outside, and, one or two better than none or negative, so...
Well, he was able to pick up about a yard on that carry, so 2nd and 9 for the Raiders from their own 17-yard line. Going wide to the left side is Chastain. Tight to the left is Roseboro. Wide to the right, that's Wilbert. Tight to the right side is Ginnivan. With the snap, Brown looking to go long, puts it up, and he's got a man open. That is Roseboro. Drops the football out at the 43-yard line. Boy. He just flat out dropped that one. That was a well-thrown ball.
Yeah, Raiders go with four go routes against the 3-deep zone. You can't guard all of them, and quite honestly, he had his choice. He could either go to Roseboro, he could have gone to Ginnivan on the other side of the field. Both of them were open. He chose Roseboro and threw a very catchable ball to the tight end. Basically, he could even stop and just put his hands up and catch it. Maybe thought about he was going to get hit, maybe thinking about getting hit before he secured it and dropped it.
3rd and 9 Raiders from their own 17. Brown pitches it, turning the corner. That is Loy. Lowers his shoulder and dives out near the 22, but short of the first down. Well, short of the first down.
Yeah, and I'm curious on some of these 3rd and longs. The Raiders have gone with these running plays when they've been able to get some stuff in the passing game. I'm kind of curious as to why not going ahead and throwing the ball now. Maybe it could be because Baxter has shown that they love to blitz and that they're worried about the blitz and maybe taking a sack and having a bigger loss. That could be what coach is thinking.
4th and 4 Raiders from their own 23-yard line. Again, punting situation, good snap. Gets the punt away. This one end over end. Emil back to receive it. It hops up and covered again. That's Ishimura now going to down it down to the 39-yard line. So that's where the Lions will start 1st and 10 from their own 39 this time, with Raiders leading at 7-0 here in the first quarter. We've got 3:29 remaining in the first quarter. Frontenac 7-0 lead.
Yeah, the Raiders got off to the quick start on offense. Get the quick score, but after that, 2-3 and outs now. So I don't know if it's a letdown or if Baxter just playing a little bit better.
Namala goes wide to the right side this time. Tight to the left. That is Barnard. Inverted wishbone, now motion right to left. And there's a pitch, a sweep of the left side, and trying to turn the corner. Oh, my gosh. And I'll tell you what, Andrew Mays just unloaded. Gage Piper.
Mays makes the hit, but Cooper Lloyd does a great job on this play because he takes two linemen out, and they are calling a penalty on Mays for this hit. That I guess because I don't believe there's any such thing as targeting, but there is. I don't think you can use your head to lead. You can be called for a flag for using your head to lead on the hit, and that's what they're calling on Mays. So this is a 15-yard penalty and a first down for Baxter.
He got drilled. That was Tyler Price, and
I just don't think I've ever seen that called in a high school game.
So 1st and 10 after the mark off. The Lions at the Raiders' 49-yard line. And White now in motion, left to right, and there's a give. Ortiz got some room on the right side, and then he's planted after a gain of about 3.
And then they found something on the right side. Their offensive line's got a really nice push, and it's kind of like off tackle. It's inside the tight end, just outside the guard, and they're finding a nice little crease in there. Pinning the inside of the line, kicking out the defensive end, finding that hole.
So 2nd and 6 for the Lions from the Raiders, 45-yard line. And the Raiders with a 7-0 lead here in the first quarter. The Lions on the move. Again, that inverted wishbone with Ortiz in the tailback slot. And they're going to give Ortiz. This time they try the right side, nothing doing, and he's, well, maybe got about a half yard. That was about it.
Well, middle linebacker Jordan Ishimura does a great job sticking with this, doesn't go with the fake to the right. They come with the counter back to the left. He reads it perfectly, is able to get to Ortiz before he can get anything going. Really nice play by Ishimura.
3rd and 5 for the Lions from the Raiders, 45-yard line. Coming out wide to the left side is Namalo. Again, now that inverted wishbone, and White under the center, the junior veteran. Fakes the pitch right side, rolls left side, and he is hemmed in, puts it out over the middle, thrown behind the receiver who was open. And again, pretty good pressure there. Clothier and Strand pressure in White, the quarterback, and he threw it behind the intended receiver, Barnard, who was open.
Well, you're just right. It's the pressure that causes the bad throw. Not able to really step into it. Kind of had to stay on his back foot as he took a little bit of a shot from Strand. Strand did a good job of not continuing the hit, and possibly getting a roughing the passer penalty. So, but yeah, the pressure forced the incompletion, or else that had been a first down.
Now you got to watch here. White is the punter. The quarterback, always the option to throw on 4th and 5 from the Raiders' 45-yard line. Try and get the offside, but no, he kicks it in the end over end and takes a roll, and it's picked up by Wilbert at the 10. He's at the 15, turns the corner, still on his feet. He's out at the 30, 35, 40, 45, midfield, and is still on his feet, finally dragged down about the Lions' 40-yard line, and that was a beanbag went down, no flag, so an excellent return of that punt by Jake Wilbert.
Yeah, I tell you, I was just happy he picked up the ball, because if he doesn't pick this one up, it's probably going to roll dead inside the 5. Does a good job fielding it, and then just kind of picked his way, and then all of a sudden it cleared out for him. So good blocking on the far side, and a good job by Wilbert to field it and the run.
The Raiders will have it 1st and 10 from the Lions' 38-yard line. See if they can get something going offensively. He scored that first touchdown, and then been struggling a little here. Making the play. Wide to left goes Ginwin. Slot left Ishimura. Tight to right Roseboro. Again, the quarterback Brown out of the gun. He's blocking back to his left is Loy. The tailback slot, that is Alex Johnson. Boy, low snap, and they give it to Loy, nothing doing. And, boy, he's thrown for a 2-yard loss.
Well, I tell you, you talk about penetration. That's about 4 defenders getting through the line and throwing Loy for the loss. Nothing he could do on that. He took the ball and had the defenders right in his face.
And you had the low snap on top of it. Peyton had to go down and get it and come up. And
I don't think that made any difference on that one. Quite frankly, Raiders just didn't block anybody.
So 2nd and 12 for Frontenac from the Baxter Springs 40-yard line. Ginwin comes wide right, Ishimura wide left. Blocking back both sides of Brown out of the gun. And they give it this time to Johnson. Boy, and he just dives down, maybe got it close to 37 after a gain of about 3.
In just about every one of these running plays now, you're seeing at least 2, if not 3 or 4 red jerseys get across that line of scrimmage, and it's just making life miserable for the backs.
3rd and 9 Raiders from the Lions 37-yard line, and now this could be in the area where you're going to talk 4-down territory, I would almost assume.
I think this is going to be the end of the first quarter, I believe.
And they're going to let the clock wind down in the second quarter. The Frontenac Raiders lead the Baxter Springs Lions 7-0, and we'll be back after we take a break. You're listening to High School Football on 103.5 FM.
No one wants to file for bankruptcy, but a wage garnishment can make it hard to pay the rent, pay the pharmacy, or even feed the family. Bankruptcy can be a viable option to help families cope with unfortunate and unforeseen financial hardship. Call.
It's a feeling you get the moment you step on campus.
It's the knowledge that you've become part of something more.
We're a family of Crimson and Gold.
Every day we challenge ourselves to achieve more.
The reason why we're here is to make a difference.
Everybody wants to stand out.
Without standing apart.
You belong.
at Pittsburgh State University.
So we start the second quarter. The Frontenac Raiders will have a 3rd and 9 from the Baxter Springs Lions 37-yard line. The Raiders with a 7-0 lead. Scored on a 2-yard run by quarterback Peyton Brown after the Jacob Wilbur was able to hit Ishamira on a 50-yard pass to get him down to the 2-yard line. And, of course, Trey Harris good on the extra point, and the Raiders with the 7-0 lead, but that's been it.
Yeah, offensive line is going to have to pick up their game if the Raiders are going to stretch this lead out even bigger. Right now, the defensive line for Baxter getting penetration and just messing everything up.
Trips to the right side. Single running back Lloyd. Quick hit. Boy, it's complete to get him. It needs a block. Gets a block. Cut up the field. He gets first down and still on his feet inside the 30. And, boy, that was close. That end or somebody come up almost got a paw on that pass. And if he'd have picked it off, they'd been clear sailing after that.
It would, but what it means was they were coming on a blitz, though, from the outside. So that took defenders away from the outside. So once he doesn't touch the ball and the ball gets out to Ginnivan, he needs just one block and he can turn it up the sideline to pick up the first down. So way to take advantage of the blitz, throwing it to the same as the blitz side.
1st and 10 Raiders from the Lions, 26-yard line. Single setback behind Brown, who's under the center. Pitch sweep to the left side. That is Wilbur gets a block, and he follows his blocker inside the 20 down to the 18-yard line.
Well, this play was wide open, honestly, and it's like a couple of the blockers just kind of stopped. There was nobody there to block, and they just kind of stopped. Instead of continuing to run through the hole and find somebody down the field or somebody in towards the middle, they just kind of stopped. Or this easily could have been a touchdown, as wide open as that was. So, if there's nobody there, you just go find somebody and keep running.
2nd and 2 for the Raiders from the Lions, 17-yard line. Boy, almost a mix-up. Yeah, penalty flag goes down. Wilbur takes a handoff, and he is brought down at the 5. But, boy, he didn't stop the play. Well, it's shift. You should stop the play.
I don't understand how that's illegal motion. You have one man going in motion, which is legal. I don't really understand what was wrong with that. Even if he slows down or stops and just pauses and doesn't set, it doesn't matter. He's the only guy in motion.
Is that not dead ball even? If you
no, that's not a dead ball foul.
So not a procedure, just a shift or a motion, yeah.
But I don't understand what's illegal about that.
2nd and 8 for the Raiders. Football at the 24 of the Lions after the 5-yard mark off. Wilbur did get down to about the 5-yard line. Made a nice run. Ishmael goes wide right, slot right Wilbur. Wide left is Ginnivan. Wide on him, 1-on-1. Lloyd, the running back behind Brown. There you have now reverse, and boy, cuts inside the block, a stiff arm, and Wilbur battled his way down to the 10-yard line, and a penalty flag on the face mask, I believe.
Yeah, I think it is, but boy, the trick play coming out again. You're running the reverse, and it is one-on-one out there. And we mentioned in the beginning Baxter was going to have to make one-on-one tackles, and really so far tonight they've done a pretty good job with that. This is a tackle that saves a touchdown. Now we're going to get a few more yards on the penalty, but Baxter at least showing good effort in making the stop.
And pretty well blocked. They had the good play call there. I mean, it opened up, and they got some blocks, and then once Wilbur split a couple of defenders, and then on the tackle they got the face mask, and it's going to be 1st and goal for the Raiders, and the football at the Lions, the 3-yard line? Is that where it is after the mark-off? I believe that's the case. Running back's out of the eye this time. Brown with the football, looking to throw. He's got a man wide open, and it is complete, and that is Cooper Loy for the touchdown.
Yeah, and the Raiders they love this play in goal line, and so far this year he's almost looked exclusively to Ginnivan, and the back out of the backfield has been open several times. This time he comes off of Ginnivan, who had a couple defenders near him, comes off to a wide open player in Loy out in the flat. So a good job by Brown. Come off the primary receiver, you go to your secondary, and then it's just an easy pitch and catch.
And the extra point attempt by Trey Harris. Good snap. Wilbert gets the football down. Harris kicks it up, and it is good. Got in the right upright. So here in the second quarter with 9:56 remaining. Well, what was there? Penalty?
Oh, I'm not. Apparently, they're backing it up 5 yards, I guess.
I didn't see the flag go down. The officials marked it. put the arms up for. Now they'll move it back. It'll be kicked at the 15, a 25-yard extra point attempt. Once again, Harris plenty of leg. It's also good. So 9:56 left first half. Frontenac leads at 14-0. We'll be back with the kickoff after we take a break. You're listening to High School Football on 103.5 FM.
The true test of a great insurance agency comes when you suffer a loss. It's easy to take your premiums, but Ray Ryan of Ryan Insurance of Pittsburgh knows that handling your claim is the most important service an insured needs.
Claim is our chance to let the customer know that we'll be out there, not just that we sold them a policy, we'll also be there when a claim occurs to make sure it gets handled in an honest, respectable way.
Ryan Insurance of Pittsburgh, a trusted choice agency. Find them fast in names and numbers.
Rob Strand back with Randy Southard. We have 9:56 remaining in the first half. Frontenac leads Baxter Springs 14-0, and Coach Mark Smith delving into the bag of tricks. And all things considered, to this point in the season, ninth game, it's been pretty vanilla this year. And he's usually pretty good for some plays like that. So I guess he's hanging on to him for the latter stages of the kick. Rolls into the end zone, and it'll be a touchback, and the Lions will start 1st and 10 from their own 20.
I guess that's something I need to keep in mind, because I was just getting ready to say that it's kind of bothering me that the only way we're actually able to move the football right now is by trick plays, but that is something that Coach Smith has never been afraid to do, and even early in a game, it doesn't make any difference to him. He likes those plays and to get big chunk yards, so I'd still like to see the Raiders do a little better up front and get just more of a traditional running game going a little bit better.
Which they had going last week against Columbus. 1st and 10 for the Lions from their own 20. Wide out to the left side, tight to the right. Again, the inverted bone with White under the center. There's a give, sweep to the right side, and boy, some good blocking. Now, I think in the area may get the hold where the penalty flag went down, and before being knocked out of bounds was...
Oh, there.
What was the call?
They're calling a chop block on the defense is what they're calling. Now, Loy came up in support, and he went low to try to get into the ball carrier's legs, and maybe they're saying he went low towards a blocker, towards one of the men leading it.
He had a convoy leading it.
But I don't know why that's illegal either.
Don't know. I can't say that I've seen that, but in any event, it's block below the block.
I'm sorry. I'm at a loss on that one. Again, I don't know why that's a penalty, but it's going to be a 15-yard penalty and a first down for Baxter.
Huh. That's the area where you're maybe going to get that hold or something like that, but then to go against the defender coming up trying to take out apparently taking out the blockers. So 1st and 10 for the Lions from their own 41-yard line. Now moving in the defensive line, they didn't get in the neutral zone. A quick hitch and the pass complete out to the 46-yard line.
And maybe thinking that Baxter thinking that quick passing game better suited. Harder for the pass rush of Frontenac to get to the quarterback. But, one last comment on that last play. I'm not even sure Loy actually touched anybody because both of the lead blockers still went downfield and made blocks. So that call is a complete mystery to me.
2nd and 4 Lions from their own 46-yard line. Getting the White out to the left. White under the center. Turns the right corner. That's Ortiz. Loose up the middle, and it's a foot race. Chance trying to catch him, and he does down at the 25-yard line.
Well, this time they get the linebacker sealed. They get the end kicked out a little bit. They keep the tackle on the inside, and then they get a man up to the linebacker and create a natural seal. And it's just good hustle by Chance to catch him to prevent the touchdown.
4 carries, 39 yards for Ortiz, and the Lions with the 1st and 10 from the Raiders' 25-yard line. Again, here in the second quarter, the Raiders with a 14-0 lead, and Lions on the move. 1st and 10 from the Raiders' 25. Wide out the right, down low. Again, the inverted bone. There's a give. Ortiz gets it up the middle, and but not much this time as he is tripped up and brought down after a gain of a couple.
Yeah, it looked like that may have been Loy coming up. The Raiders go back to the 5-man line again, which puts Loy more in as a middle linebacker. He's able to fill the hole and limit the gain.
So 2nd and 8 for the Lions from the 23-yard line of the Raiders. Coming out wide to the right side is Namalo. Tight to the left. That is Barnard. Get out of the gun, and now this time out of the gun is White. Trio blocking backs there with him. Dropping back to pass, looking up to go long, and it is... Oh, what a catch over the shoulder. That's Namalo on the receiving end of that 25-yard touchdown pass.
Well, I tell you, he only had about a half a step on Ishimura. He's in pretty good position. This is a perfect throw and just a tremendous catch, laying out for that ball and able to gather it and haul it in.
And the extra point attempt coming up, and attempting it is Jose Leon out of White's hold. So I guess you could watch for some trickery with the two-point conversion with White, the holder. Low snap, gets it down. Kick is plenty long enough, and it is good. So here in the second quarter, the Raiders lead over the Lions cut to 14-7, and we'll be back after this break. You're listening to High School Football on 103.5 FM.
After 3 decades in business, Bittner Motors of Pittsburgh remains a local favorite. If you're in the market for a quality pre-owned vehicle, Bittner Motors has a large selection of late model, low mileage vehicles to choose from. Whether it be a car, truck, or SUV, Bittner Motors will warranty all their vehicles 100% for parts and service. And if you can't find what you're looking for on the lot, they will find it for you. Bittner Motors, 1018 North Broadway, Pittsburgh.
Rob Strand back with Randy Southard. We have 7:45 remaining first half. Frontenac leads Baxter Springs 14-7. The Lions to kick off. And boy, nice pitching catch there from White to Namalo. And Leon good on the extra point. And the Raiders lead cut to 7. And the Lions to kick off.
Well, how about the response by Baxter? You know, Frontenac comes down, gets the second touchdown, and it looks like maybe the route might be on, and Baxter says, I don't think so. Marched the ball right down the field. Now, did get aided by a 15-yard penalty, but still, they moved the ball right down the field very effectively.
And pops it up, coming over to take it is Ishamir. He drops it, ball on the ground, picks it up. Able to, and now he's loose along the near side and brought down at the 37-yard line. And boy, almost got past those defenders.
Well, just poor communication on who was going to catch it, though. You know, that's like the outfield fly in baseball. You know, those guys have got to talk. I've got it. I've got it. You know, Ishimura is the deep man in the back. That means he's the one that is supposed to be returning the kick. So when that up back hears him holler, I've got it, which I would assume he would be, you know, you've got to let him take it. And fortunate to be able to pick the ball up and maintain possession.
Raiders 1st and 10 from the line, from their own 37-yard line. And there's a give. That's Wilbur. Oh, nothing going. Tried the middle, and there's nothing there.
Rob, I saw 2 offensive linemen about 1 second after the snap stand and turn around and look and watch the man they were supposed to block run into the backfield and make the play. They didn't even hardly touch anybody.
2nd and 11, Raiders from their own 36-yard line. Couple wideouts right side. Brown out of the gun. Couple blocking backs with him. Good snap. Fakes, looking to go long. Got a man over the middle, puts it up for grabs, and that is going to be picked. He put too much air under it, and coming over to make the interception is Tyler Price. And just, the man was open, but just put too much air under it.
Yeah, and he let him up the field instead of across the field because he's running kind of a post pattern, a deep post. They had a short underneath post as well going, and Ishimura is wide open. But if he throws it across the field, the safety has no chance to get over to that ball. Instead, he throws it up the field, and that gave the safety time to come over with the air he put underneath the football.
So 1st and 10, Lions from their own 46 after the turnover. And the Raiders with that 14-7 lead. Namalo wide left, out of the gun, White gives it. Now they reverse and looking to throw Namalo, looking to go long, puts it up for grabs, and it is caught. And down at the 21-yard line, and on the receiving end that time is Spencer Bernard, and boy, well defended. Our defenders are just not reacting to the throw.
Yeah, right now, Baxter on both sides of the ball, the defensive backs for Baxter and their wide receivers for Baxter, just wanting the ball more when it's up in the air and doing a better job of going up and getting it. Frontenac's been in position, just getting outworked for the ball in the air.
So 1st and 10 for the Lions. They're at the Raiders' 20-yard line. Out wide to the left is Burks. Again, the inverted wishbone with White under the center. Now motion left to right is Ortiz. There's a give, right side. Now up the middle and busting it loose. And tripped up and brought down at the 11-yard line. And on the carry that time was Tyler Price.
Yeah, and again, right side of that line getting a really good push. And, the end's getting pushed out just enough, not staying in the gap. The tackle is the one that's really getting pushed to the inside, getting no penetration whatsoever. It's creating a natural hole. The linebackers are getting caught up in the wash. I'd expect maybe some blitzes, but then those blitzes to come between the tackle and the end, not straight up the middle.
Lions 2nd and 1 from the Raiders, 11, and Ortiz, and he's going to go in for the score. Ortiz scores from 11.
Yeah, and this time the end decides, well, they're running inside of me. I'm crashing to the inside, so he does, but then there's nothing on the outside, so he just bounces it out and goes in for the score. Now, they threw a flag at the end of this. As he crossed the goal line, he was getting hit, and they threw a personal foul flag for a late hit, and I don't agree with this one either because he was entering the end zone when he got hit. I don't understand why it wasn't like he was 5 yards in the end zone and got hit. It was just as he entered the end zone.
And in to attempt the extra point is Jose Leon. With 5:40 remaining here in the first half and looking to tie the score. And the kick is up. It is good. So we're tied at 14 with 5:40 remaining in the first half. We'll be back with the kick after this break. You're listening to High School Football on 103.5 FM.
Hi, I'm Kendall Gammon. You may know me as a Kansas City Chief, but I'm also a proud graduate of Pittsburgh State University. Pittsburgh State offers more than 200 degree programs, small class sizes, and tuition so affordable, it earned Pittsburgh State a top 10 ranking on Washington Monthly's Collegiate Best Bang for Your Buck list. But don't take my word for it. Visit Pittsburgh State and see why there's nothing like being a gorilla. Learn more at pittstate.edu/BA-gorilla.
And Rob Strand back with Randy Southard. We have 5:40 remaining in the first half, and Frontenac and Baxter Springs tied at 14. And kicking off Leone, he will tee it up after the penalty from the Raiders' 45-yard line. Now here is an area where you may, if you try the onside kick, you field position-wise, you're not in too bad a shape, or else I guess you could knock it in the end zone. And now they're going to go onside, and he drops the football. But I think Story, the freshman, got on it. He took a pretty good shot there. And he dropped on the 32, and he is hurt.
Yeah, kick kind of a line drive right at him, and one of those, I don't mind him. Those are kind of one of those you expect maybe the front line to let it go, but, he is a back, so he's going to try to field it, and he's coming off very slow because he did take quite a shot as he was reaching for the ball. Did a good job at least covering it up.
So the Raiders will start 1st and 10 from their own 32-yard line, tied at 14s with 5:40 remaining here in the first half. Brown out of the gun, rolling right, does get a block, puts it up. It is complete. And near the first down stripe is Ginnivan.
Yeah, good job giving, you roll Brown out. It gives him a little bit more time, a little bit more of a chance to scan the field. Good route by Ginnivan on the comeback. And they hit him for the nice gain on first down. So, that's the kind of play you like to see right there.
2nd and 1 Raiders from their own 41-yard line. This time Brown under the center with Wilbert, the running back behind him. There's the pitch sweep to the left side. Wilbert looking for a block, gets a block, cuts inside. He is now loose midfield. He's down to the 40, 30, cuts back. He's going to stay on his feet, and he is going to go. Checking for a flag, don't see any, and Wilbert for the score.
Well, this is a really good play call by Coach Smith, too, because up the middle, they've gotten absolutely nothing. You go onto the outside, and then Loy, again, is able to get a hold of, I don't mean hold, he's able to get a piece of two separate guys on the outside and gets a big enough block on both of them that it springs Wilbert, and he only had the free safety left, put one move on him and takes it to the house. So good play call, and then a good job by Loy with the lead block.
So a 59-yard touchdown run by Wilbert. The extra point attempt coming up. Wilbert to hold Harris. The kick is up and long enough, and it is good. So we have just like 5 minutes remaining here in the first half, and the Raiders regain the lead 21-14, and we'll be back after we take a break. You're listening to High School Football on 103.5 FM.
If you're in the mood for shopping, visit Pittsburgh's Meadowbrook Mall. Pittsburgh's original one-stop shopping center has a lot to offer. A great variety of clothing and shoes for the whole family, a large selection of gifts, sporting goods, events, and entertainment, plus terrific places to eat, and you can enjoy the newest movies in 8 theaters. Shop the comfortable and convenient atmosphere at Pittsburgh's Meadowbrook Mall. There's always something happening at Pittsburgh's Meadowbrook Mall.
Rob Strand along with Randy Southern. 5 minutes remaining before halftime. Frontenac leads Baxter Springs 21-14. The Raiders kick off. Trey Harris tees it up at the 40. Back to receive the kick. Drops it down along with Ortiz. And see if the Raiders come in the lines back and play some defense. Boy, that looked like we were well offsides and retreating. That is Ortiz. Comes up to 10, the 15, trying to turn the corner. He's collared and he's still on his feet, and nice effort to get out to the 26-yard line. Boy, they had him inside the 20, and second effort, and he got it out to the 26.
And
I'm telling you, it looked like one of the Raiders on the kickoff team was a couple yards past the 40 when Trey Harris put his toe to the football.
Well, all of a sudden, Rob, we've got a shootout on our hands, and if you'd have told me that before the night started, I'd have thought you were crazy.
So first and 10, Lions, they'll start from their own 26. 21-14 lead. Raiders got out 14-0 lead. Lions tied it, and the Raiders respond and up by 7. White, there's a give. Trying the left side and cutting inside some blocks and out to about the 31-yard line. And that was Price on the carry. A nice gain on first down, about 6.
And several Raiders trying to rip that ball out. They finally did get it out, but forward progress was called, and I think appropriately so.
See where they finally mark it.
But boy, I tell you, the Raiders the defensive line is just not getting any penetration. It's like they're going straight in to the linemen instead of hitting gaps. And the size of Baxter is able to shield them, push them back a little bit, and they've got their running game going tonight.
2nd and 3, Lions from their own 32-yard line. And there's a little misdirection, and that is Ortiz once again. And, boy, they still haven't got him. And he's out across the 41. Boy, they're pushing him, getting extra yardage. They end up getting about 5 after he was stuck after a couple of yard gain.
Yeah, and this time the tackle and the linebacker on that side do a much better job filling the hole, but they ended up just a half step late, ran into each other, and both of them got up a little bit slow. Roseboro also on the other side, he just came off the field, and he was looking a little bit slow coming off. So
1st and 10, Lions from their own 42-yard line. And the inverted bone behind White under the center. Rolling left, looking to throw. That is White, pressured, puts it up, and it is nice contact right about the time the ball got there, and the pass falls incomplete. That pass was intended for Barnard, and well timed. Was that Jake Wilbert on the defense there?
Yeah, Wilbert read this from free safety, came up, timed it really well. Definitely not early. Just as the ball got there, put a shoulder into him and jarred that thing loose. Or we'd been looking at a 2nd and short instead, 2nd and 10.
Again, White rolling left, some pressure there. He had to get rid of it and almost completed the pass. 2nd and 9 for the Lions from their own 42-yard line. Again, White, the junior, under the center. There's a sweep to the right side, and that is Ortiz with some blocking, but boy, he covered well, and he's out about the 47-yard line, saying keep the clock going after a gain of 5.
Yeah, Wilbert coming up, and really Chance does a pretty decent job with helping to try to string this out. And I know he picked up 5, but, boy, they had everything on the inside sealed. They got the linebacker sealed. The defensive end got hook blocked and sealed to the inside. I thought they were going to get a whole lot more than the 5 they got.
So a big 3rd and 5 for the Lions from their own 47-yard line. Coach talking to the official. They're going to be taking a timeout here or what? They're kind of, finally getting up to the line of scrimmage. Wide to the left goes Namelo. Getting into this, now he does take a timeout. So getting toward halftime, the Raiders with the 21-14 lead and a big 3rd and 5 for the Lions from their own 47-yard line with 2:45 remaining. We'll just go ahead and keep it here as big 3rd down for the Lions. I don't think this is an area where you can go the 4-down situation, so they're thinking the first down. If not, like we always mentioned, too, is White's a punter, too, so that gives you that option.
Well, honestly, I'd say it depends on how much they get on 3rd down here. And it also won't surprise me if at some point they try just a straight quarterback sneak. They did that last week against Parsons, and really it was the best running play they had. I think they could have done a quarterback sneak every single play and just marched right down the field. Haven't seen it tonight, but this may start to be a situation where you might.
Getting at halftime, we'll take a look at the unofficial stats, the scoring summary, and some of the goings-on with the other student-athletes at Frontenac High School. A nice crowd on senior night here at Baxter Springs, and the Lions trailing the Raiders 21-14.
Tell you, Baxter is doing this without one of their starting linemen who's on the sideline with the ice on his shoulder and no helmet. Looks like he's done for the night.
Out of the gun, White. Snap, looking to throw, quick hitch left side, got a man open, and did a nice open field tackle, and boy, did he hit the ground. Apparently he did. He stopped after a gain of about a yard, maybe 2, but now you got about a 4th and 3.
Well, I was wondering if he actually was down because the official, when he marked it, we can't hear the whistle here in the press box, and didn't put a hand up, and I thought for a second they were going to let him keep running.
So 4th and 2 for the Lions from their own 49-yard line. Like we mentioned, White is the punter, and you got that option. He can just run a play, or it looks like they're going to go ahead and try and go for it, or try and draw them off the sides. I guess you can go that route too. See how antsy the Raider defense is. White under the center. Now a timeout is called. As the Lions call the timeout, and just down to a minute 49 here in the first half. And so a decision here for the Lions facing a 4th and a couple, maybe 3 from their own 49-yard line.
If I'm Baxter, I go for it without question. What do you have to lose? It's your last game of the year. You're not going to the playoffs. You might as well go for it. I don't see any reason in the world to punt this ball away. Not to mention in the run game, you've been able to pick up, some pretty decent gains. I see this as a pretty convertible 4th down.
And apparently Tim Parrish, coach, thinks probably thinking along those lines, trying to come up, at least get the first down, maybe throw a little wrinkle in there, maybe get a pretty big gain here. As you know, the Raiders going to be selling out, trying to come up and make the stop short of the first down. Again, all the Raiders games on World 3.5 FM, streamed live at ESPN1007.com. Also there tonight, Pittsburgh hosting Kansas City, Washington from Hutchfield. You can check out the video there, or the audio on 100.7 FM, ESPN. So here come the Lions. Now a little different look as they run up the line of scrimmage. And there's Ortiz trying the left side, and nothing doing. He is gang tackled, and he actually lost a yard.
Yeah, and it's a great defense by the Raiders. They just kind of sold out on the run, but I kind of question the play call. They've been running to the right side of their offensive line with excellent success, and this time they go to the left side, not their normal ball carrier either, not their main man in Ortiz. And then the Raiders kind of string it out, and then here comes Wilbert to finish it off from the free safety. So I don't mind him. I think it's a good call to go for it, but I don't think it's a very good play call running to your left.
1st and 10 Raiders from the Lions 48. Quick hitch right side. That is complete. It's Ishamira. And, boy, he's still battling for some yardage, but right along the sideline, get out of bounds and stop that clock. Actually able to pick up about 7 yards.
Yeah, just good pitch and catch on the hitch route. There's not in too much of a hurry, but some of the Oh, now they're saying the clock should have stopped on the far side, and apparently it didn't. At least the Frontenac players are saying that.
Well, he was, initially, then he kind of turned it in, but it looked like he went to the outside and then kind of stood up like he gave up. I figured he stepped out of bounds to stop the clock. Yeah, they're trying to get a message up here.
1:44 is what they're saying should be on the clock.
So the Raiders going to face a 2nd and 3 from the Lions' 42-yard line with 1:44 remaining in the first half, in Frontenac with the 21-14 lead. I'm trying to get the right time on the clock. Are they talking 1:44?
Yes. 1:34. 1:34.
Okay. 44. 1:44.
I had it right the first time. Now the Raiders should have at least 2 timeouts.
Raiders 2nd and 7 from the Lions' 42-yard line. Low snap. Brown's got another quick hitch, and that is Ishimura once again, and got the first down.
Yeah, and that's going to stop the clock for until they move the chains, and then they'll wind it again. So the Raiders should get into the huddle, get a play called, get up to the line of scrimmage, and get set.
1st and 10 for the Raiders from the Lions' 37-yard line. And the quick hitch left side, Wilbert with the catch, and stood up and plowed at the 34-yard line. Now takes a shove as he gets up.
And honestly, I don't know why that's not a penalty, because there's been other stuff that has kind of been ridiculous that they've called, and he takes an extra shove after the play's well over, and no call the other way, but the Raiders do call timeout.
So the Raiders with the timeout. On the move here, trying to add some points, add to this 7-point lead right before half. 1:13 is where we're at right now. Raiders will face a 2nd and 5 from the Lions' 34-yard line. And again, Frontenac with that 21-14 lead. Again, the Raiders got out the 14-0 lead. Lions tied it at 14. Then the Raiders responded quickly, got the lead back, and now on the move after a defensive stand near midfield.
And I would think that all of this short passes is setting up the double move to try to get the big one and get a score before half.
Well, a lot of that offense has been pretty much to those throws like that to Ginnivan, and this time you went a couple of times. Ishmael one to Wilbert, and see if they're setting up on that in that vein also. We'll see. In any event, the Raiders with time. 1:13, leading 21-14 in the 2nd and 5 from the Lions, just inside their 34-yard line. Shamir goes wide right, Wilbert in the slot to the right, Ginnivan wide left. Blocking back there with Brown, rolling to the right is Brown. He puts it up, got a man open, and that is Roseboro, and he rumbles inside the 10, and he's got first down near the 8-yard line.
Well, again, it's kind of that bootleg action. He's going to roll out to the right. They had a blitz on that side, and he wasn't going to be able to get to the outside. Brown did a good job reading it and stopping and found his crossing pattern. This time Roseboro able to haul this one in, turns it into a big play, but a good job by Brown to stop, set his feet, and make an accurate throw.
1st and goal, Raiders from the Lions 8. Brown, he throws again. This time to Wilbur, gets a block inside the 5, cuts inside a couple of defenders, and goes into the end zone for the score.
And again, 3 guys out there. The safety is too far in the middle of the field. The 2 other receivers get good blocks. He just kind of jukes one man to step into the end zone for the easy score.
So the Raiders going to try and get the extra point. Down to 49 seconds. An 8-yard pass for a touchdown from Brown to Wilbert. Harris to attempt the extra point. Yeah, that kick, some pressure, but he got it up and through. So 49 seconds remaining here in the first half. Frontenac the 28-14 lead, and we'll be back after this break. You're listening to High School Football on 103.5 FM.
Paynes Incorporated in Frontenac is the driveline specialist. Paynes handles all driveline repairs for cars, trucks, four-wheel drive vehicles, and farm equipment. Paynes can also handle any general machine work and offers 24-hour wrecker service. Call Paynes anytime, 231-3170. Paynes Incorporated is located at the intersection of West McKay and Highway 69 Frontenac Junction. Paynes Incorporated in Frontenac is the driveline specialist.
Proud supporter of Frontenac Athletics.
Rob Strandback with Randy Southard. 49 seconds remaining first half. Frontenac 28-14 lead over Baxter Springs. Raiders to kick off. Terry Harris tees it up at the 40-yard line. So after the Raiders jump out of the 14-0 lead, Lions resilient, come back tied at 14-all, and then the Raiders a couple of quick scores, and now up by a couple of scores, 28-14 with 49 seconds left here in the first half.
And you've got to feel a little bit better about it, but still, there's going to have to be some adjustments made at halftime, especially on the defensive side of the ball.
And here's the approach. Low line drive, and boy, dropping it and picking it up. No, they say he got up off his knee when he grabbed the football, and he's got some room and dragged down at the 20-yard line as Namalo. He actually went down and blocked it. I guess he stood up before he come off that knee when he picked the football up and got a pretty nice return out to the 25-yard line.
Well, and, Mays has been on that kickoff team all year long and just been a heat-seeking missile going down the field. Well, he's got the shoulder injury, so they've had to take him off of that, and I think that does make a difference, in the kick coverage.
With 44 seconds remaining, Baxter Springs Lions will start 1st and 10 from their own 25-yard line. Frontenac 28-14 lead. Wideouts to both sides. Again, the inverted bone with wide to the center. And there's a give. Sweep to the right side. And, boy, busting into the secondary is Ortiz and close to the first down.
And well blocked again, and I'm not sure if that was the linebacker on that side, if he blitzed or if he just misread the hole. But that's where that linebacker, they've got to start planning on middle linebackers, getting more in between the tackle and the end and hitting that hole rather than going straight up the middle like they have been.
So 1st and 10, Lions from their own 35-yard line this time. Wideouts to both sides. Now a little confusion in that backfield pitch. A sweep of the left side. That is Ortiz. Boy, he's able to turn that corner, and boy, he did finally run out of bounds, at least stop that clock.
Yeah, good job by Ishimura to come up.
Down to 13 seconds remaining. Ortiz able to pick up 4 on that carry. 11 carries, 79 yards, and a touchdown for Ortiz. So a nice first half.
It just seems like they're able to get that off-tackle run going. They've had some plays on the outside that if they get one more block, they could have had big plays there too. So Baxter really has been able to run the ball with some pretty good effectiveness in the first half.
2nd, 6, Lions from their own 39-yard line. Rolling right, wide, looking to throw. He's pressured, and it is complete, and they get him down short of midfield. It'll be a first down.
Well, I tell you, this play looks familiar. It's a flood route where they have a man going deep. They've got an intermediate route and a shallow crossing route. And in the zone, it's hard to cover all three. This time on the run, throws an accurate pass and is able to hit him to convert the first down to midfield.
So 4.6 seconds remaining. Lions have a 1st and 10, and it looks like football's going to be resting, well, right at midfield. Again, Frontenac 28-14 lead, so see if I'm guessing they're just going to put one up for grabs, go long, or we'll see. They've not hesitant to throw the football. Had some good routes, good opens, and White's a good quarterback. I mean, he's he started all last year and experienced.
Well, if they can occupy Wilbert with a man and then get one-on-one with either corner for the Raiders, that's where the Raiders have had problems when the corners have been left to try to play the ball in the air. They've been in good position, just haven't played it in the air well. Wilbert's the guy that can come over and knock something down.
More like the pitch and hitch. There's some pressure. Boy puts it up for grabs over the middle, and boy, it is picked off by Ishimura, and he goes down at about the 17-yard line. So we finally made halftime. Frontenac with the lead over Baxter Springs by a score of 28-14. to 14, and we'll be back with the unofficial stats, scoring summary, and taking a look at what some of the students athletes are doing at Frontenac High School after we take a 2-minute break. 2 minutes. You're listening to Frontenac Football on 103.5 FM.
Since 1945, Tri-State Building has been helping build the four-state area, providing quality construction services and dependability at competitive prices. Tri-State Building has a reputation as a general contractor and an authorized Butler builder, which holds experience, quality, and reliability above all other considerations. Tri-State Building has built a multitude of projects and is your full-service design build contractor that can take you from concept to grand opening. For an honest and proven contractor, call us, Tri-State Building.
What's the buzz around Community National Bank and Trust? They're talking mobile banking, instant issue debit cards, rewards checking and credit cards, and let's not forget e-power checking, paying better than CD-like rates on a checking account, plus nationwide ATM fee refunds. Get in on the buzz. Community National Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
It's a feeling you get the moment you step on campus.
It's the knowledge that you become part of something more.
We're a family of crimson and gold.
Every day we challenge ourselves to achieve more.
The reason why we're here is to make a difference.
Everybody wants to stand out.
Without standing apart.
You belong.
At Pittsburgh State University.
And Rob Strand back with Randy Southern. We're at halftime. Frontenac Raiders lead the Baxter Springs Lions by a score of 28-14, and kind of a bit more, as Randy mentioned in that first half, a little more of a shootout than I believe we expected here this evening. But it's been a battle. The Raiders got out to that 14-0 lead. The Lions tied it, and then the Raiders a couple scores late. And by 2 touchdowns here at halftime. Taking a look at the unofficial stats and scoring summary, the Baxter Springs Lions, Tyler Price had 3 carries, good for 12 yards. Narciso Ortiz, 11 carries, 79 yards and a touchdown. Gage Piper, a couple of carries for 8 yards. Through the air, Trey White, unofficially 7 completions and 12 attempts for 93 yards and a touchdown. He was intercepted once, the last play of the first half. And Stephen Namello, 1 completion, 1 attempt on the halfback option, 35 yards, a big play there. And for the Raiders, Jake Wilbert, 7 carries, 70 yards and a touchdown. Peyton Brown, 2 carries, 4 yards and a score. Cooper Lloyd, a couple of carries, 3 yards. Alex Johnson, a carry for 3 yards. Through the air, Peyton Brown, 9 completions, 11 attempts, 83 yards, 2 touchdowns. He was picked off once. And Jake Wilbert on a halfback option, 1 for 1 for 50 yards. The scoring summary goes like this. The Raiders scored with 10:42 remaining in the first quarter. That on a 2-yard run by Peyton Brown. Trey Harris' extra point was good. It's Frontenac 7-0 lead with 10:42 left in the first quarter. That set up by that 50-yard pass play that Wilbert threw on the halfback option to get the Raiders down to the 2-yard line, and that led to Brown's score. That's the way the first quarter ended, with the Raiders leading the Lions by a score of 7-0. Then with 9:56 remaining in the first half, a 3-yard pass from Peyton Brown to Cooper Loy out of the backfield. Trey Harris again good on the extra point. It was Frontenac 14, Baxter Springs nothing with 9:56 remaining in the first half. Then 7:45 remaining in the first half. The Lions scored a 25-yard touchdown pass from White to Namelo. Leon, extra point, good. It was Frontenac 14, Baxter Springs 7 with 7:45 remaining in the first half. Then with 5:40 remaining in the first half, the Lions tied it up. Ortiz went in from 11 yards out. Leon good on the extra point. We were even at 14 with 5:40 remaining in the first half. Then with 5 minutes remaining in the first half, Jake Wilbert, the 59-yard touchdown run. Trey Harris good on the extra point. It was Frontenac 21, Baxter Springs 14 with 5 minutes remaining in the first half. Then with 49 seconds remaining in the first half, a 8-yard touchdown pass from Peyton Brown to Jake Wilbert. Harris good on the extra point. It was Frontenac 28 and Baxter Springs 14 with 49 seconds left in the first half. That's where we're at halftime with the Raiders up by a couple of scores, 28-14. Interesting first half, and like I said, pretty much shootout. And the Raiders going in their bag of tricks on some of those plays, and also for that matter, the Lions did got a nice halfback option out of it for big yardage. So interesting in that first half as far as the offense goes. And I think the Raiders, obviously the Lions doing a lot of passing and also the running of Ortiz, whereas the Raiders, their success has been through the air. They haven't been able to establish much of a run game here in the first half, which they did last week, which was pleasant and a little more balanced. But, all in all, up 28-14 at halftime, you have to be pretty much pleased.
I think overall you're happy with the score, but I'm not positive you're too happy with the play. The offensive line is really going to have to do something about the defensive line. Otherwise, it's just going to have to rely on the outside game, to move the ball at all. Defensively, they've given up way too much on the ground in the first half, and Baxter runs basically 2 or 3 plays. You kind of know what's coming, and yet the Raiders just not able to defend it. I think the adjustment there is going to be those linebackers. I think they're getting caught up in the wash too much on the inside. Maybe spread those linebackers out just a gap so that they can get into more between the tackle and end, because that's where those runs are coming at.
So at halftime, Frontenac 28-14 lead, and we're going to take a look at some of the going on the other student athletes at Frontenac High School after we take another break. You're listening to High School Football on 103.5 FM.
The City of Frontenac is a proud supporter of Frontenac High School athletics and academics. The City of Frontenac was founded in 1886 and is home to just over 3,100 residents. Frontenac citizens enjoy a small-town atmosphere and all that a close-knit community has to offer. Situated on the crossroads of 2 major highways, those living in Frontenac can easily travel and enjoy the amenities of larger cities in a shorter travel distance. The community boasts an outstanding school system, low taxes, complete city services, including 24-hour police and fire protection. Good luck, Raiders, from the mayor, city council, and staff.
Rob Strand back with Randy Southard at halftime at Baxter Springs. The Frontenac Raiders lead the Lions by a score of 28-14. The Lions marching band performing at halftime on this senior night as they honored the seniors prior to this football game. And again, wrapping up the season for the Lions. And, of course, the Raiders will play first game of the playoffs at home next Friday against the Girard Trojans. And mentioned some of the other student athletes there at Frontenac. The team's been busy, some cross-country, as well as the volleyball today up at Salina. And Randy has some of the results from volleyball.
Yeah, and they got off to a late start today. I'm not sure what the delay was, but Frontenac, the 7 seed, and in their pool, they're matched up. First game was against the number 2 seed Nickerson, which I was told had 3 girls over 6 feet tall. Lost in straight sets, but battled. Played a little better in the second set than they did the first, but it fell to Nickerson. Then they took on, immediately following that, they took on the 3 seed in Burlington. They lost the first game, the first set. Then they came back and won the second set, took it to the third one, but ended up losing in the third set. So the girls have lost their first 2 matches of the day. Now they have one off now, and then they'll play a third game later tonight against the 6 seed Holton. And some people that I know that are out there have told me they feel that they battled with Burlington much better, and then they'll have a real shot at competing with Holton and maybe get a win in the state tournament in their last game.
So good luck as the Raiders taking on Holton. That was originally scheduled for 7:30, but apparently again running behind there. So we'll give you an update as soon as we get any scores from there. And also another Raiders student athlete in action.
Yeah, cross country. Last Saturday, the regional was held at Burlington, and Jessica Peterson qualified for state. She got 7th place at the regional, ran really strong. She is in action at the state meet tomorrow that is being held in Wamego. So good luck to Jessica, and hopefully she runs well tomorrow.
Yes, indeed, and has a nice season, and hopefully be able to cap it off at the state meet at Wamego. So that's the goings-on with some of the other student athletes, and gosh, just thinking basketball's right around the corner. I know the junior high has already started practice, and they'll be playing games here pretty soon, but the basketball will be going, and before you know it, and you think about during the summer about how long it seemed till the football season, and here we are at the end of it. As it's going, sometimes it seems like it's dragged, but you look back, and boy, it's been quick, especially, if you're in your senior season, that goes pretty rapidly, and sorry to the next season, but, with all these kids, it's anymore, it's year-round. I mean, I don't care what sport you're playing, or if you're playing multiple sports, you're always busy, and, it's once you to the games, that's the fun part, but there's a lot of work going into it, and by all of them, and, I know they had a nice volleyball hosted the sub-state, had a big crowd there, and everything went well there, so, and good luck to all those remaining who are competing, and, of course, the football playoffs start on next Friday, and the Raiders will be at home against Girard. Of course, 7 o'clock kick at the Raiders Sports Complex. And I mentioned last night, Girard beat Iola 25-0 last night. And I guess congratulations to Galena, who knocked off Riverton 59-7. Of course, claimed the CNC League title, and they will play. I think that's 3A is about the only one playing on Tuesday anymore, and they've got, I believe, Neodesha that they will play host to. So, tis the season. There's postseason. So
I got a very interesting score. The last one that I saw, I don't believe this is a halftime score just yet. In the second quarter, Parsons has a lead on Columbus 21-13. Parsons ahead of Columbus. That game is at Columbus.
Yes,
even.
It is.
That would be a huge surprise. In other scores, Pittsburgh hosting Kansas City, Washington. They have a 34-0 lead there. Labette County and Coffeyville, this game at Coffeyville, tied at 8. So good game there. And then Independence is at Chanute. Chanute with a 21-6 lead over Independence.
So some of the other scores, we'll try and keep you updated on some of those. Is of course the other district game, again, Parsons at Columbus, and Parsons with that 21-13 lead there. So Vikings playing well here, and I guess that's would end up for the other spot in the playoffs. So runner up at the district.
That is for a playoff spot, that game. So I don't think anyone saw that one coming. Now, obviously, it's still early in that game. They've got at least a whole half to play, as I don't even think they're quite to halftime yet. But still, I saw that score, and it kind of perked me right up.
So there you go. And at halftime, Frontenac leading Baxter Springs by a score of 28-14. And we'll be back with some second half action after we take another break. And you're listening to High School Football on 103.5 FM.
Now accepting new clients. At the Pet Care and Surgery Center, Dr. James Clark believes all of our pets deserve kind, humane, and loving treatment. From a simple checkup or rabies vaccination to performing major surgery. Plus, Dr. Clark has boarding, grooming, nutrition, and wellness checkups. Dr. James Clark can provide that loving member of your family with the treatment they deserve. Call 620-308-6454 to set up an appointment or simply visit petcarecenter.org. Pet Care and Surgery, making a difference.
Rob Strandbeck with Randy Southard at halftime as the Frontenac Raiders lead the Baxter Springs Lions by a score of 28-14. And again, the Raiders coming out after some halftime thoughts, I'm sure, from Coach Mark Smith. Probably was very interesting, and they come out for the mandatory warm-up, as the Lions will. And I guess if you pick the coach's brain, what do you think Coach Smith had to tell his Raiders at halftime?
Well, knowing Coach Smith, it was probably pretty calm and more adjustment-based. And we talked earlier about maybe those linebackers making some subtle adjustments. Me personally, I think the offensive line needs a kick in the rear, quite frankly. Several times, penetration, half the time. I've seen several times the Raiders' offensive linemen standing there looking behind them at the defensive line that's just got by them and barely even laying a hand on them. They're going to have to do something up front to stop the penetration. This Baxter defensive line. They're big and they do fire off, but you've got to be able to block them, stay low, and get into their waist and do something to slow down that defensive line.
And I guess on the other side of the coin, what about Coach Parrish?
Well, I think he's got to be overall pretty happy with these kids. I think offensively, Baxter keep pounding away, and then you can try those chunk plays in the deep passing game that they've gotten. They've gotten a few of those, but if I were them, I would pound away until Frontenac proves that they can actually stop it. And defensively, I think he's got to be overall pretty happy. It's been trick plays and stuff like that. They've done a decent job tackling. You got to give up some short throws and come up and make the tackle, and for the most part, they've been able to do that. The only adjustment you may see is the free safety move over a little bit further when Frontenac goes trips, because he's staying a little too far to the inside of the field, and then for the Raiders have them outnumbered on the outside, and then Wilbert scored a touchdown kind of because of that on just the quick pass.
And a few of the times there, the Raider defensive backs did have it well defended, but just didn't adjust. They were out-battled for the ball by the Lions receivers, and, there was a few you saw in the air. You thought 3 or 4 picks, and 2 of those, or 2 at least, were taken down by the Lions for big plays, and, the backs were there, but then again, you got to turn around and go out or they always say get the ball at its highest point. I think one of the Lions did that exact thing, on the one nice catch. But, all in all, they're kind of in place there. But they could make a few plays, and, and Baxter's going to have the ball to start the second half. So, no doubt they'll take the football and try and cut into that Raiders 28-14 lead.
Yeah, this is a big possession to start out. They're able to go down and cut this lead in half, get within 1 score. You've got a dogfight on your hands. On the flip side, if Frontenac's able to get a stop, force a punt, and then if Frontenac can go down and get another score, boy, that's going to put a lot of doubt into Baxter's minds being down 3 scores.
So getting close to the start of the second half. At halftime, Frontenac leads Baxter Springs 28-14. We'll be back with second half action after we take another break. You're listening to high school football on 103.5 FM.
I had no idea you did that.
That's what I said when I learned CDL does more than just electrical work. Like plumbing, heat and air, security cameras and alarms, generators, solar panels, even signs for my business. CDL really is one company that has a solution for about everything in my home and business. Learn more at cdlsolution.com.
And Rob Strand with Randy Southern back at Baxter Springs at halftime. Frontenac leading Baxter Springs 28-14. The Raiders will kick off to start the second half. The Lions will have the football. And again, a reminder, tomorrow Pitt State playing host to Northwest Missouri State. And a 2 o'clock contest out at Carney Smith Stadium. And, of course, you can hear all the Guerrilla games, football, basketball on, I guess, flagship station, ESPN 100.7 FM, and a number of other stations giving you coverage of the Guerrillas. And, boy, a big home contest against the number 1 team in the nation and the defending national champs. And, gosh, a team, I guess, highlighted by the defense this year, hasn't given up a running touchdown and, 4 shutouts, and pretty stingy. And, they always say if you play the D, you're in the game. You always don't want to get a shootout every game. And so it could be interesting. And just, the Guerrillas with a little momentum with a couple of wins in a row after a sluggish start. And we should see, get a big crowd out there. Should be, football weather. I think it's going to be dry. It'll be a little cool, but like we were talking coming down, we like it in the cooler weather, especially when we're in the press box. Kicking off for the Raiders will be Trey Harris back to receive the kick. Stephen Namalo, and also back there is Narciso Ortiz. Raiders lead at 28-14, and Lions going to go on offense after Trey Harris puts the toe to the football from the 40. A high end-over-end kick back to get it. Namalo takes it at the 5, brings it near side to the 10, out to the 15, and nice coverage there, and dragged down at the 20-yard line. And trying to see.
This is Trey Strand.
Trey Strand got in there. Nice coverage. I think Cage Chastain was kind of around there, and a penalty flag is down.
There's a couple of flags down there, and I think it's for the same infraction.
And they're pointing toward Frontenac.
I would hate to guess who this could possibly be on.
No, that's a personal foul going against the Lions. Was that the preliminary signal?
Yeah, that was the signal. I don't know what the personal foul is.
No, now they're pointing Raiders' way. Is it 2 fouls? Maybe 1. No, not. I'm looking over the Raiders sideline and trying to get an idea what that's administered this game. Personal foul against the Lions. Is that an ejection?
I think that may have been an ejection. He gave the thumb out signal, but I have no idea, honestly.
Did anybody come to the sideline?
I couldn't tell you, Rob. Sorry.
Well, I don't know. Anyway, 1st and 10, Lions will start from their own 10-yard line. Again, wide under the center. They give right side, and there's some room, and well, nice coming up, closing Wilbert, and also in there was Chance, and they held Ortiz to about a 3-yard gain.
Now, I realize this is the first play of the second half, and the Raiders made an adjustment. They go to a 5-man line. They leave Ishimura, the middle linebacker, in the middle. And they put the other linebacker, it's Clothier. They put him a little wider to the strong side of the formation, just to take care of that hole. And he didn't see the hole. He stayed to the outside too far, and that's what gave up the yards. But by formation, that defense should stop those runs that they've been getting chunk yards on.
2nd and 7 for the Lions from their own 13-yard line. Give left side, and with some room, that's Ortiz is able to turn the corner. Now it is a foot race. There's 4 Raiders in pursuit, and they drag him down about the 30-yard line.
And the second level, the Raider defenders that are supposed to fill some of these holes are just not seeing them properly. As this time they go to the other side, they find the same kind of crease, and there's nobody there to fill the hole, and they're just not seeing it correctly. Going to take maybe a few plays for them to see it so they understand where the hole is coming from.
So 1st and 10 for the Lions from their own 31-yard line now. Moving the ball on the ground, started from the 10. A couple big plays. They've got the first down. Wide to the left. Splits Jacob Burks. Getting the inverted bone behind White under the center. Now a penalty flag, a delay.
And it's tough because there's no play clock here, and you have to eventually spot the back official. He's putting a hand up, and counting the last 5 seconds off. But heck, he's what is that? 20 yards, 25 yards down the field. Kind of hard to spot out there, and Baxter flagged for the delay.
So 1st and 15 Lions from their own 26-yard line now after that 5-yard mark off. We're going to play from the sideline, Namalo. Wide out right. Well, wide out's both sides, and there's a give. Up the middle, not much going there.
Well, finally, a little bit of penetration by a defensive lineman, and that was Nathan Kaufman. Normally plays some middle linebacker, but with that 5-man line, he comes in as one of the tackles. He finally gets a little penetration, slows the back in the backfield, and then the rest of the defense can come and finish it off.
2nd and 14 now for the Lions, and there's a give, and well, up the middle, dancing around, and still dragging tackles out to the 31-yard line. So a nice gain. Not much there. Is able to pick up about 4 yards.
Yeah, squeezed the hole down a lot better, but yeah, somehow he just kind of slithered his way through, picked up a few, but it's still going to set up a 3rd and long. Looks like about 3rd and 10.
As the Lions at their own 31-yard line, again, Frontenac 28-14 lead. White under the center. There's a pitch, a sweep to the left side. And boy, nice effort there. Good penetration. Clothier, I don't know if he actually got the tackle, but there's about 3 other came up and stopped Ortiz, and they actually lost a couple of yards.
Yeah, slowed him down enough where everybody else could come, and that's where the adjustment of widening out, it's that kind of 5-3 look, and you've got the middle linebacker kind of widened out a little bit. It helps with that stretch play, with that toss play. able to get more leverage coming, able to chase him down a lot easier.
So a punting situation, White back at his own 19-yard line, now creeping up to the 20, and back to receive the kick is Wilbert. And he bides his time, and there's a kick coming in the near side, and Wilbert lets it roll, and wisely down at the 36-yard line.
He acted like he was a little upset he didn't catch it, but boy, no, you stay away from that one, and then it landed pretty softly, didn't take much roll. So good starting field position for the Raiders. They get the defensive stop. Now let's see if the offense can get something going and come down, get another score, and put this a little bit more out of reach.
1st and 10, Raiders will start for their own 36-yard line. First offensive possession here in the second half comes with 8:28 remaining in the third quarter. Shamira splits wide right, Ginman wide left, slot left is Wilbert. Again, Brown out of the gun, blocking back to his right, motion left to right, Wilbert. Rising, gives it to Wilbert, breaks off a blocker, turns the corner, has the first down, and run out of bounds near midfield, and that was blocked well on that right side, opened things up.
Yeah, and Clothier was lead blocker this time, and he gets a nice kick-out block. Wilbert does a good job of planting a foot and making the proper cut. Didn't try to get all the way to the outside initially, turned it up the field, broke it out, got a good stock block on the outside by the wide receiver, pick up the first down for the Raiders, so a good start to this offensive drive.
Raiders 1st and 10 from their own 47-yard line. Ginnivan out wide left, Ishmael wide right. Again, Wilbert in the slot left. Out of the gun, Brown blocking back to his right. Motion left to right, Wilbert, low snap, quick hitch. And he hits Ishamira right at midfield, and then he is gang tackled and keeping the clock moving as he was thrown back, able to get the 49 of the Lions for a gain of about 5.
Yeah, and then low snap could have easily thrown everything off right there. Brown did a good job of recovering, set his feet nicely, and just threw a dart right into the chest of Ishimura. And, if you're going to give him 4 or 5 yards on first down, I think you have to take it.
So second, let's call it 6 for the Raiders from the Lions' 49-yard line. This time Ishimura and Ginnivan go wide right. Slot back to the left side. Out of the gun, Brown gives it straight up the middle. That is Wilbert. Hey, boy, then the ball goes down. Did they?
No,
he was stopped after a gain of about a yard, but he kind of looked like right about where the line was right there. That almost looked like maybe he needed to go cut it up the middle.
Well, I think he tried to run up the middle, and there was nothing there. He just absolutely got hammered on the inside. Again, no, there's been just nothing doing running up the middle for the Raiders tonight.
3rd and 5, Frontenac from the Baxter Springs, just inside the 49-yard line. Wide left, Ginnivan, wide right, Ishimura. Clothier in the backfield also. Flanking Brown. Good snap, fakes the handoff, pressured, low and long, puts it up, Ginnivan's open, has the defender beat, makes a catch at the 25, and thrown down at the 22-yard line.
Well, they had him completely one-on-one on the outside, and they were blitzing, and so the free safety couldn't cheat over. He had to stay more in the middle of the field because both linebackers were coming on the blitz up the middle. Ginnivan runs a little bit of a double move and beats his man badly, but Brown has to scramble a little bit and not able to set his feet. The ball was underthrown. If he throws that ball about five more yards, Ginnivan's going to walk into the end zone. Regardless, though, it's a big play for the Raiders.
1st and 10 Raiders from the 22 of the Lions. Pitch, sweep to Alex Johnson, cuts back, and he is inside the 20, down about the 19. Not much there, but able to turn it into a gain of about 3 yards.
Yeah, did a good job of cutting and kind of turned his body sideways and didn't give a lot to hit. Was able to slither forward and did a good job to pick up the 3 or 4 that he got.
A couple of carries for 7 yards for Johnson, and the Raiders with a second and, let's call it a long 6. From the Lions shy of their 18-yard line. Trips come wide left. Tight to the right is Roseboro. Again, single blocking back to Brown's right. Now motion left to right goes Ginnivan. And they give it to Ginnivan. Turn in the corner. Gets a block, and he lowers his shoulder, and he's inside the 10. So a different wrinkle there. Seeing that, I guess, the first time we've seen it this season.
Yeah, first carry of the year for Ginnivan. I'm sure Baxter was thinking the same thing. They're probably not going to give it to him, but you get him ahead of steam and get the big guy to turn the corner. That play's been there most of the night. They've been able to seal the outside. It's the inside runs that the Raiders haven't been able to get going.
So first and goal for the Raiders from the Lions' 8-yard line. Now some confusion as a couple of Lions come to the sideline. Coach waves them back in. Now one bolts off, and there was a give left side to Alex Johnson. Cuts inside the 5, spins in for the touchdown. And a penalty flag down. 8-yard touchdown run by Alex Johnson. Did they catch the too many men on the field or what?
No, they're calling a late hit in the end zone, just like they called against Frontenac in the first half that I thought was pretty questionable. Now they've called on one on Baxter that I think is pretty questionable too. But regardless, it's going to be a touchdown. It's going to be a touchdown for the Raiders.
With 5:35 remaining here in the third quarter. Extra point attempt. Trey Harris out of Jake Wilbert's hold. Gets it down. Hack kick. Again up. And it is good. 5:35 remaining here in the third quarter. Frontenac stretches its lead to 35-14. We'll be back with the kickoff after we take a break. You're listening to High School Football on 103.5 FM.
At Lindbergh Pharmacy, we care about your health. From a qualified and caring staff to services like our Time My Meds and MedPack programs, Lindbergh Pharmacy provides personalized service you can count on. Refill prescriptions online at lindberghpharmacy.com or on your smartphone with our free Lindbergh Pharmacy mobile app. You can also sign up for our text alert program and we'll text or email you when your prescription is ready. Can't make it to us? We'll deliver your medications right to your door. Lindbergh Pharmacy, now 2 locations to serve you.
Rob Strand back with Randy Southard. 5:35 remaining third quarter. Frontenac leads Baxter Springs 35-14, and the Raiders will kick off here, and Trey Harris tees it up at the Lions' 45-yard line after that personal foul penalty at the end of that touchdown run by Alex Johnson, and he's going to drill it into the end zone and make the Lions start from their own 20-yard line.
Well, I'd say a nice mix of run and pass that last drive. I like the fact that Alex Johnson gets in. Next year he's going to probably be the tailback next year, as Wilbert will be gone to graduation. Gets a couple of carries in a row, does well on both of them, and gets the score. So could be a big touchdown, make this that 3-score game.
So the Lions will start 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line with 5:35 remaining here in the third quarter, and Frontenac with that 35-14 lead.
And we'll see, it looks like the Raiders are going back to their base, more of their base defense, getting out of that 5-man front.
White out left, slot right, out of the gun. White looking to throw, looking near side, pumps once, and he puts it up, and boy, the intended receiver had did about triple move and thrown behind him.
Yeah, and quarterback really, I think, just kind of getting rid of this. When they tried the double move on the outside, Ishimura not fooled at all. Would have been in great position to make a play, and then the quarterback kind of threw it, almost hoping that his receiver would stop his route, which obviously he shouldn't. So more or less throwing the ball away.
2nd and 10, Lions from their own 20. Wide to the left. It was Jacob Burks. Couple wides. Well, trips out to the right side, actually, and out of the gun is White. Fakes the handoff, pressured. Boy, he's able to turn the corner and still being pressured and putting it up for grabs, and through tall as a pass it did for Burks. Boy, he had some pressure on him. About 3 Raiders were making White scramble back there, and he just unloaded.
And good coverage on the outside there, Chance in good position. But, if you're the quarterback, you might as well throw that thing up there. It's worked out a couple of times earlier in the game, but, it gets the pressure, and there was Strand coming off the edge that couldn't quite get him down. He did manage to get to the outside, but Chance had him covered.
So 3rd and 10 for the Lions from their own 20. I'll come from the sideline. Tyler Price in there, arriving to the Lions offensive huddle late. Relaying the play, and White under center. In the inverted bone. Rolling right. Ginnivan on the pressure ball. That's got to be a grounding. He just flung that ball.
There actually was a receiver.
Underhand, yeah. I guess there's actually a couple out there, it looks like, but Wise, but he had no time at all, just had to unload it. Ginnivan on the pressure there.
Yeah, coming up, and Ginnivan's, for his size, is much faster than you think he is. I think the quarterback thought he was probably going to outrun him to the outside, but Ginnivan was able to track him down, cause the incompletion. So a good 3 and out for the defense, going to force Baxter to punt from deep in their own end.
Wilbert to receive the kick, White back at his 10-yard line. Good snap, some pressure, end over end. And Wilbert, after a nice block by Chance, springs him near side, and he is tripped up and brought down inside the 30. Penalty flag goes down. What are they?
Oh, and that was thrown really late.
I didn't really see any block there or anything. I mean, you'd think maybe in the block of the back, but it didn't see anything. It is against the Raiders. I'll have to see what he signals here. Good effort by Wilbert to get it down to the 32 of the Lions, and a block in the back. Now, why is the flag? And, he got past that, maybe that initial block sprung him there. Maybe the guy coming down, it didn't look like it was actually, it was more he just missed him than actually. In any event, the Raiders will start 1st and 10 from their own 47-yard line. Wide right, Ginnivan, slot right, Wilbert. Coming out wide to left is Shamira. Again, Brown out of the gun, single blocking back to his right, Clothier. Forced to scramble, rolling right. Brown's going to keep the football, has some room, and heads to the sideline, gets out of bounds near the 45-yard line, and nice gain on first down.
Yeah, good choice by Brown, too. We've seen most of the year he's not been willing to turn that ball up all that much, but he had no receiver open. Did a good job, took what he can get, and 6 yards on first down you'll take all the time. So good choice by Peyton Brown to tuck it.
So a second, let's call it about 4 for the Raiders from the 47 of the Lions. Going wide left is Ginnivan, slot left Wilbert, wide right is Shamira. Again, blocking back to the right of Brown. Motion left to right goes Wilbert. Hands it to him, tries to turn the corner, and he is dragged down after a gain of a couple down to the 45-yard line.
Well, we were 1 block away from having a pretty big play. Just one defensive lineman on the inside was able to run that down, went straight down the line of scrimmage, was able to make the play. If he gets blocked, Wilbert's got a pretty good run.
So a third and about 3 for the Raiders. Football just shy of the 45 of the Lions with 4.5 minutes left here in the third quarter. Now, trips come to the left side this time. Ginnivan, Wilbert, Ishamira, tight to right, Roseboro. Brown, the football, pumps. Boy, and he is knocked down at midfield. Nice effort there coming in to make the Jace flood. I don't really know what they were trying to set up. It was kind of, he tried to spin out of that grasp there, but he couldn't do it, and he's thrown for a 5-yard loss.
Yeah, I think it was going to be a design quarterback run to fake the throw out to the left, and he was going to run. And, boy, I tell you, lucky to have held on to that football, but instant pressure straight up the middle, just the problem that they had in the first half coming through here, too.
So punting situation, and Trey Harris back there to punt. Back to receive the kick is Namalo. Good snap. The punt, boy, high, short. But takes a nice roll. Boy, and then hits one of the Raiders. Boy, we're real lackadaisical going down on those covers. I've noticed during most of the season, you got to pick up that football if you're on the cover, and that bounced up and hit one of the Raiders. It could have gone a few more yards, inside the 15 or the 10.
Well, not to mention, once the kicking team touches they can take it, and even if they fumble, it doesn't matter.
Right.
They get to retain possession. So, once it's touched, you need to get on that ball. In the quick score update, Rob, in the third quarter, Parsons and Columbus are tied at 28.
Shootout going in Columbus. 1st and 10 for the Lions from their own 15-yard line. In the latter stages of the third quarter, Frontenac with 35-14 lead out of the gun. Keeping the football is wide, not much this time. As He was thrown down after a gain of maybe a couple of yards.
Well, actually, a different running play out of Baxter. They go with the zone read, and they were reading Ginnivan, who was kind of caught in no man's land. The quarterback decided to keep it, turned it up, but Mays was able to come off the block and make the play.
2nd and 8 for the Lions from their own 17-yard line.
First time we've seen that zone read out of Baxter all night.
And the first carry for Trey White, a couple of yards. And a couple of wideouts both sides. Single blocking back to White's left, rolling to the left is White. Pressure puts it up, and no, pass falls incomplete. And receiver pretty much covered over there. Took a dive at it, but not much chance. And Chastain was over there, had him covered.
Yeah, it would have been a tight window to get it in there, and the pressure again getting to the quarterback. Didn't quite get his feet all the way turned around to make that an accurate throw.
3rd and 8. Lions from their own 17-yard line. Frontenac the 35-14 lead here in the winning moments of the third quarter. 2:25 remaining. And again, wide out both sides, slots both sides. Blocking back to the left of White out of the gun. There's a give, and boy, Ginnivan corrals Ortiz and throws it back inside the tip. Well, they're going to say the 11-yard line was where he was stopped.
Well, and Ginnivan does a great job using his hands, gets away from the offensive lineman, and then even though he took kind of an inside route, was still able to catch the back before he could get around him and turn the corner.
So a punting situation, and this time it'll be near his goal line with Wilbur back at the Lions' 45-yard line to catch that punt. White. And his goal line, good snap, some pressure, got it away, short, high kick, going to turn out on 5. Now Wilbur's going to come and pick that up, I guarantee it. He does, loose along the far sideline. He's down near the 20-yard line.
You could see it coming. He kept tracking that ball from the middle of the field. I think he was thinking he might surprise everybody and get a touchdown out of it. But I tell you what, defense, though, 3 and outs the last couple of possessions. First couple of plays for Baxter here in the second half, they had that running game still going. Now I think the Raiders are starting to understand exactly what they're doing. They've widened out those linebackers to fill those holes much better. Looks like the defense has a much better control over what Baxter's trying to do.
So the Raiders will start 1st and 10 from the Lions' 20-yard line, trying to add to a 35-14 lead. Brown out of the gun. And there's the give to the tailback. Wilbur turns right corner, stiff arms one man, still on his feet, and it's touchdown. Jake Wilbur goes in from 20.
Well, and this might have been the best play. The offensive line in the center of the line has actually blocked. They didn't get any kind of penetration. Wilbur sees the hole to the outside, makes one cut, then makes a one-man miss on the outside. But finally, that offensive line able to get some blocks up front, no penetration, give Wilbur a chance.
And Wilbur to hold. Harris to attempt the extra point. Oh, he bobbled the snap. Did Wilbur scrambling, looking to throw, and it's batted down. As that time, Wilbur just couldn't find the handle on the snap to get it placed. But in any event, the Raiders stretch their lead to 41-14. We'll be back after we take a break. You're listening to High School Football on 103.5 FM.
When you get engaged and need to pay for the wedding, when you have a baby and need to start that college savings account, it seems like the best moments in life can come with some real financial challenges. What's yours? At Commerce Bank, we find solutions so you can focus on enjoying life. Visit us online at commercebank.com or at a branch near you. Commerce Bank, challenge accepted. Member FDIC.
Rob Strand back with Randy Southard. Minute 28 left, third quarter. Frontenac leads at 41-14, and boy, a good third quarter for the Raiders.
Yeah, absolutely, and offense starting to have their way a little bit more, and defense figuring things out. So good adjustments made at halftime, and I think maybe the line finally starting to get their act together, especially towards the middle. So the last couple run plays, not a lot of penetration given up.
Yeah, and the kick by Harris. Ortiz will take it. Boy, he bats it up in the air, finds a handle inside the 5-yard line, and comes in. Boy, a nice shot in there. Was that Strand who got it in there?
Absolutely, Trey Strand.
Headhunter, he drilled him.
Yeah, good hustle, and he has very good speed. He's another player that next year looking to have a much more impact for next season. The young player does a great job hustling down the field, and boy, put a good hit on him.
On the 10-yard line, so that's where the Lions will start 1st and 10 from their own 10, trailing 41-14. Again, at 5:40 left in that first half, the Lions tied it at 14 all, and it's been all Raiders since. Again, White under the center. Inverted bone, there's a give, right side. And I believe that's Ortiz once again. A couple of yards, not much going there. They're defending that a little better than they did this half than they did in the first half.
And honestly, I still thought there was one defender just was one step late. It's like, go, you see the hole and go. That was my view, was perfect line with the hole. And boy, when you see it, you got to fill it. So, but yeah, Raiders doing a much better job because that single player right there was picking up 7, 8, 9 yards in the first half.
2nd and 8 for the Lions from their own 12-yard line. Again, same formation with White under center and the inverted bone. Reverses out, gives it a trap play. Oh. Boy, that time not much going. Mays, he planted him.
Well, and Mays looked like he was bent over him almost. I thought I was worried about a taunting call, but then he helped the back up. So maybe it wasn't. Maybe it wasn't what I thought it was going to be, because I guarantee with this officiating crew, if you did something like that, you'd be getting flagged.
So a pickup of about a yard, 3rd and 7 for the Lions from their own 13-yard line. With 1:15 left here in the third quarter, and Frontenac with that 41-14 lead.
Oh, not a minute. It was just 15. Sorry,
15. Anyway, that's the end of the third quarter. Like I said, I can't see the scoreboard, so I'm kind of at the mercy of my color man and camera operator, Heath Adkins. So that explains it. We head to the fourth quarter. Frontenac leads at 41-14. We'll take a break and be back. You're listening to High School Football on 103.5 FM.
If you want to improve your basketball skill set, you need to attend one of the Lane Lord basketball camps. Each camper receives individual attention and specific coaching adapted to age and skill level. There's something for everyone. A grade school camp for girls entering 3rd through 8th grade, a high school team camp available on 2 different weekends with both varsity and JV levels of competition, plus satellite camps throughout the summer. All campers receive instruction from head coach Lane Lord, head assistant Amanda David, along with former and current players. For more information, visit them online at LaneLordBBallCamps.com. Coach Lord and Coach David have seen tremendous success over the past several years, and they begin their recruiting at these camps, with over 20 former campers being signed. Visit LaneLordBBallCamps.com.
Rob Strand back with Randy Southern. We head to the fourth quarter. Frontenac leads at 41-14. And the Lions will face a 3rd and 7 from their own 13-yard line. Out of the gun, White rolling left. Pressured by Ginnivan on the chase. Puts it up and wisely throws it out of bounds. Nothing going there. Is good pressure by Ginnivan. He just unloaded it.
Yeah, that time just a 2-man route, and Raiders had 3 DBs on that side to cover. Nobody open at all, and yeah, the pressure then forced him just to throw it away. But good coverage downfield. No place to go with the football.
So again, a punting situation. White back there as he will stand back near his end zone. Getting Wilbert back, standing at the Lions' 40-yard line, waiting to return the punt. Yeah, good snap. A couple steps to the right. Boy, a high, short punt. Raiders going to have to turn around and find it. And what is... Now it backs up, and the Raiders are going to have the 29-yard line. One of the Raiders made a beeline to the sideline. He wasn't going to get anywhere near that ball.
Well, they've come close a couple times this year. Balls hitting them, so, apparently message sent, message received. There was a player just on a dead sprint for that sideline, but you know what? Better that than have the ball hit you on accident and have a turnover.
So 1st and 10 for the Raiders from the Lions' 29-yard line with Frontenac 41-14 lead. Shamir comes wide to the right. Ginnivan is tight left. Right out of the gun. And there's the give, and on the carry, I'm trying to, I believe that was Alex Johnson. Able to pick up a yard or two.
Yeah, and that one looked originally like it was pretty well blocked, but then they just couldn't quite stay with the blocks long enough, or that could have been a bigger play.
So 2nd and 8 for the Raiders from the Lions' 27-yard line.
Again, I like seeing Johnson out there getting a few more carries with the first string.
2nd and 8, Raiders from the 27 of the Lions. Again, Brown out of the gun. Johnson, the running back behind him. Now with the football, cuts it outside, goes inside the 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown. Looks like he got in. Yeah, there's the call. Nice run by Alex Johnson. Some 27 yards.
Well, again, no penetration up the middle, and then they get a big hole on the left side. Johnson sees it, breaks it to the outside, and he has excellent speed as well. He's able to fight his way to the end zone when he got contacted inside the 5. But big hole left side, and again, no penetration up the middle. So now I don't know if that's the Raiders doing a better job or if that's the scorer starting to get a little bit to Baxter and a little bit of the will starting to come out of them.
So the extra point attempt coming. Trey Harris out of Wilbert's hold with 10:50 remaining. Boy, they do that. Boy, they go for 2. They had a little shovel pass to Johnson as Wilbert rose up and tried to give it to him, and Lions well defended. So the extra point attempt fails, and Frontenac now leading it by a score of 47-14. And boy, I tell you, we mentioned they were tied at 5:40 left of the first half at 14s, and it's been all Raiders since then.
Yeah, and people that aren't here, aren't listening, aren't watching it, online, or we're going to see this final score and look like this was just an easy win in a blowout. But this has been hard fought, and I give Baxter a lot of credit tonight. They came to play and have given everything that they've got. Just the adjustments made at halftime, I think, have been the biggest deal for the Raiders on both sides of the football.
And like you said, the Raiders got out to that 2-touchdown lead, and you thought, well, they've got the momentum, and Baxter, the response, and they came back, and you couldn't tell me some of those Raiders fans didn't have a little anxious moments there at that point with about 5 minutes remaining in the first half. But again, Lions tied it at 5:40, and the Raiders regained the lead at 5 minutes. So they had a long run and kind of took control since then. Kicking off, Harris tees it up at the 40-yard line. End over end kick. Retreating, Namalo inside the 5. Brings it near side 15 and tripped up and brought down at the 20-yard line.
And that's Caleb Hemby getting in there and able to trip up the ball carrier, and Roseboro finished him off.
Now we're going to have some new faces on that Raider defense.
Yeah.
You see coming in there is you'll see Colby Bevins, also checking into the defensive lineup. Alex Story. You've got Buddy Sexton. Also trying to see trying to see if KW Hale on that defensive end. Lions will start 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line. Alex Johnson in there, Cade Chastain. Pitch sweep left side to Ortiz. Gets the corner turn, but run out of bounds about the 25-yard line.
Well, I tell you, Alex Story out there is still holding his hand. And if you remember, that he was the one that recovered that onside kick and took the big hit as he was reaching for the ball. And even before this play, he was kind of cradling his arm and kind of flexing his hand.
And he's still Alex Story is good-looking kid, 6'1", 185, only a freshman. Mm-hmm. And I know he's on the kickoff team and he's seen some action here, but he's a physical specimen in there. And He'll be playing a lot in the next few years, and on cue, Story is able to grab the ball carrier as he goes by, drags him down at the 31-yard line after a gain of about 6.
But he did it one-armed. You know, it's his right arm that he's having a problem with, and he tackled him basically just with his left arm. I'm not sure if the coaches are seeing this or not, but that might be something to consider getting him out, because he's definitely in some discomfort.
Also in there, Caleb Hemby, as well as Cole Davis, Vincent Chastain, got Jake Mangini, also Jake Beckman, and also in that defensive backfield, Cale Bridwell. 1st and 10 for the Lions from their own 31. Pitch sweep right side. Trying to turn the corner is the freshman, and pretty nice gain on 1st down.
And Cole Davis, though, did a good job pursuing that. He was the backside linebacker, stayed home initially, and then followed the play. And you know, you don't want to see linebackers make the play that far down the field, but from the backside, that's a pretty good job.
Officially for Piper, 3 carries for 15 yards, and 2nd and 3 for the Lions from their own 39-yard line. Frontenac a 47-14 lead.
And a quick score update, Columbus has scored twice. They now have a 42-28 lead over Parsons.
2nd and 3 for the Lions from their own 38-yard line. Boy, this time White's going to keep it, try and turn left corner, and Chastain in pursuit. He was dragged down, also helping out on the tackle at the near sideline. That is Grant Hessong when he got the 1st down.
And we'll see if they're winding the clock, saying he was tackled in bounds.
1st and 10 for the Lions from their own 45-yard line. And the clock moving. We got 9 minutes. And the Raiders with that 47-14 lead, coming wide to the left side. Jacob Burks. Wide to the right side is Stephen Namalone. Out of the gun. No, excuse me, under center is White. And they give dive up the middle, and on the carry that time, that is Gage Piper.
Yeah, that's a little different wrinkle for Baxter, too. Hadn't seen just straight dive all night, but that was almost like the dive off of, veer in inside veer play, so something a little bit new.
2nd and 7 for the Lions from their own 48-yard line. We're just trying to wrap this one up, and again, open the playoffs at home Friday with Girard. The Trojans coming to town for a 7 o'clock contest. White, motion right to left, that's Piper. Pitch, sweep left side, Ortiz, and he has run out of bounds about the 49-yard line after a gain of about 3 or 4.
Yeah, and taking a little bit of advantage of some backup players that are in the game. And now they've stopped the clock. Maybe calling him out of bounds.
He did go out of bounds. I was just wondering if they were.
Yeah, so they do stop the clock there, but that's the case where not as aggressive on the outside as far as setting the edge and coming up on the corner, and forcing them back in. The defender kind of stayed back a little bit more. That's just the younger player out there.
3rd and 4, Lions from the Raiders 49, and there's Ortiz, and he cuts back, and he's got some room along the left sideline, being chased by Mangini, and then run out of bounds. Also Strand in there. They threw a flag on that. I mean, there was contact off the field, but they held up. I mean, there was just minor contact.
Yeah, this crew, I mean, you give them one thing, they called it on both sides. If there's any contact after the whistle, basically at all, they're throwing a flag.
So the 1st 10 after Ortiz was run out at the Raiders 20, and then they'll mark off the late hit personal foul penalty, and the Lions are going to be at the Raiders 10, where they're going to have a 1st and goal.
Yeah, I did see they do have Story out of the game now, so maybe they realized he wasn't feeling very good and got him out. Kroenke coming in for him.
This Rhino formation, a couple of linemen in that as blocking backs for the Ortiz, and boy, nice effort in there as who was that? Colby Bevins was able to ride Ortiz and stop him after a short gain, if any.
Yeah, you would think with those linemen in the backfield, you're just going to go straight ahead and plow the way through. They kind of ran almost a misdirection play that took forever to develop. and allowed Bevins to get into the backfield and stop it before it could get going.
And they had Blythe Ipock, A.J. Himes as walking backs for the tailback, who is Ortiz, and that's the same setup now, Ipock and Himes with Ortiz. Under the center is White. There's the give, right side. Ortiz cuts back, nice cut, and he's down at the 5 and then gang tackled, and we're still battling, able to pick up about 5 on that carry.
I tell you, though, when he made his cut, I thought it was going to be a touchdown, so good stick in there in the inside. Too garbled in the middle for me to tell who it was, but the Raiders I thought he was going to score, and then they come up and stop him at the 5. So
well, you got the Bevins in there, and also Sexton taking up some room. Also, we see Caleb Kroenke in there at the defensive end, along with K.W. Hale. 3rd and goal for the Lions from the Raiders' 5. Boy, they wedge it straight up the middle, and it looks to me like White was able to get it in with some assistance from his running backs, kind of pushed him in the end zone. Boy, one of the Lions down in the pile there in the end zone.
And grabbing his knee.
Yeah, no.
Well, I think maybe it's a cramp now. Maybe he was just holding his leg up to stretch, so I think it's just a cramp. Thankfully, you'd hate to see a serious injury in the last game of the year. But, that quarterback sneak, Parsons they started doing that against Parsons last week and basically ran that pretty well every play. Waited until now, until it's more a goal-to-goal situation to pull it on the Raiders JV.
With 6:15 remaining, this is when White goes in from 5 yards out. Oh, nice. What do we got going on here? We got somebody coming in from the sideline, and they throw the flag, and there was all sorts of stuff going on. Procedure to the call, they were trying to go for 2, but one of the linemen, a little tardy coming from the sideline.
It wouldn't shock me if they tried to do the same thing, even from backed up at the 8-yard line, quite frankly.
Right now, 47-20. And the extra point attempt coming up, and the again Lions going to go for the 2 from their own. Actually, the 8-yard line is where they'll go with White under the center, and movement in the offensive line.
Well, we'll see as the defense moved as well.
They're pointing now.
Yeah, apparently the defense didn't get into the neutral zone, but it was the movement of the defense that caused the offensive line to move.
And mark against the Lions, and they'll be back at their 13 now.
So we're on our, 3rd or 4th try on this extra point.
Rare extra point from the 13.
It's almost like the Chiefs game at Oakland a couple weeks ago. It had like 2 or 3 untimed downs.
Wide outs to both sides. Again, the big boys in the blocking back for Ortiz. Now 2 are moving. Now 1 stops. The other keeps moving. This is confusing. White rolls left, looking to throw for the 2-point conversion, puts it up in the end zone, and it is caught. Oh, my. The Raiders defender flashed right in front, looking like he could have put a hand on it, and they complete the 2-point conversion on a pass to Namalo.
Yeah, that was Mangini that came from the far side of the field. I really thought he was going to pick it, but somehow the ball gets past him, and so finally the 2-point conversion play is over.
Yeah, so 47-22. Is that where we're at? I can't see the scoreboard. And the shootout continues, right, as we weren't planning on this happening. And we've got 6:15 remaining in the Lions to kick off, and we'll see if they go with the onside kick.
Yeah, I would think the Raiders would probably come out with the more or less starting hands team just to be on the safe side.
And again,
maybe not.
No, looks like they got.
Yeah, they're going with regular. Looks like the JV kickoff return team.
Yeah. And again, to kick off. Teeing it up is Jose Leon at the 40-yard line, and get kids in some game situations here where assuming they are going to try the onside kick. Nope, they're going to pop it up, and retreating is Kate Chastain, takes it over her shoulder and up across the 30, out to the 35, and nice effort there at about the 31-yard line.
And one thing I did see before that kick, though, you did have one varsity defender up on the front line. It was Gage Clothier, and you could see he was telling everybody, don't go anywhere, watch the onside. And so some good leadership showing right there, reminding the younger players, hey, it could be coming. So they didn't do it, but at least he's making sure everyone's alert.
So 1st and 10 for the Raiders from their own 35-yard line, and it looks now we're going to try and
the Raiders lining up to just take a knee.
What's the clock saying? I can't. Well, he does take a knee. What are we at?
6:08 on the clock.
Peyton Brown took the snap and took a knee. Yeah, I don't quite get this. Unless they're just trying to run a few minutes off the clock. They got Ishimura back as like the safety. They're going to try and take all the time off the clock.
And there's sportsmanship, and then,
well, the only other thing I could think of is if they're doing this so that hopefully not get anybody injured, ride out the rest of the contest. But I think you could run some play. Another knee by Brown, so they're just trying to get time off the clock. And
well, I could think, possibly as big as Baxter is up front, if you put your JV offensive line in there, not sure how well they could handle that size, and not possibly worried about someone on JV getting hurt line or back. So why take the chance? But I'm not sure why you can't couldn't just snap it and run it up the middle.
3rd and 12 for the Raiders from their own 33-yard line. Let the clock wind down, and Brown another snap, takes a knee, and we're down to a punting situation. With 4:40 remaining, when Harris to punt. And, well, I don't know if Baxter, there's some confusion going here. I don't know.
Just kind of a bizarre occurrences out there right now.
Stephen Namelo back to return the punt, stands at his own 40-yard line. Frontenac leads at 47-22. It's a snap. Oh, boy, short punt off the side of the foot, and Raiders, they're not picking that up. Finally, he goes in there and get it down to Dylan Toll, and it's at the line's 49-yard line.
I'm not sure that was Harris kicking, was it?
Well, I thought, yeah, it was. I'm pretty sure it was him back there.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's gotten strange up there.
Anyway, 47-22 with 4:05 remaining. And the Lions have the football, 1st and 10 from their own 49-yard line. Strand in at safety now. Trey Strand. I saw him back there with also McGinney. See Bridwell, got Chastain. Also Caleb Hemby, Cole Davis. White gives it, running left side, and on the carry that time is A.J. Himes. He's able to pick up 3 yards.
That's a pretty good job by Kroenke and Bridwell. Both of them kind of coming up, filling that hole, and that's one of the starting offensive linemen that's getting the ball right now against a JV team. I question that, quite frankly, but it's a good job by 2 younger players to take down a pretty good-sized kid.
2nd and 7 for the Lions from the Raiders' 47-yard line. Again, Himes back there, also IPOC. I believe in junior high we saw IPOC in the backfield over at Galena when our kids were playing him. He's got the football sweeping the right side, and he dives inside the 45 down to the 43-yard line, so a pickup of some 5.
Yeah, I don't know if this is a case where you have seniors that you're just wanting to get them the ball or something, but there's part of me that doesn't like you take 2 of your biggest, best offensive linemen and you put them in the backfield to run against a bunch of JV kids. there's something about that just doesn't sit too well with me, quite frankly.
And the Lions 3rd and 2 from the Raiders' 42-yard line. And again, Himes and Ipock back there, along with Namalo and White under the center. Coming to give, there's Ipock once again. And boy, gets room, dives down near the 34-yard line.
Cole Davis filling the hole, and but he's outsized almost by double, but he does a good job at going up there and trying to stop that run.
2:37 remaining. And the Raiders 47-22, and the Lions with the 1st and 10 from the Raiders' 36-yard line. And White under the center. Himes and Ipock, the running backs in front of, the blocking backs and running backs in front of Namalo. Now motion left to right. Goes Ipock, sweep right side. Now they're going to have a throwback to White. And actually well defended here as Kroenke chased. Now another throw, and the defender doesn't turn around. And it's a touchdown, but a penalty flag is down. Was he over the line?
Well, the first one was forward.
Okay.
The throw to the quarterback was forward, so he can't throw the football again.
And there again, it was well covered. It was like defense back held up. Didn't go up and knock it down. Go after it. Boy, this is an interesting play. Oh, my. So the forward pass, and then another second forward pass, negates a touchdown. And get a little backyard ball here. What is that? Illegal forward pass, loss of down, is that correct?
Correct. Yeah, so it should be 2nd down.
I got first over on the far side, but it is 2nd. The Whitehat's trying to get him to change it over there. So it'll be 2nd and 15 for the Lions from the Raiders' 41-yard line.
And I'm getting down to 2 minutes to go in the game.
And there's give. Well, that is that Himes on the carry? Boy, dragging tacklers down about 30-yard line. And he's able to pick up about 10 yards on that carry. A couple carries, 13 yards for Himes. Ipock, a couple carries, 11 yards. And a 3rd and 4 for the Lions from the Raiders' 30-yard line with 1:50 remaining. Here's the 47-22 lead. Wide under the center. And give it to Ortiz. Yeah. He's got the first down inside the 25, down near the 23-yard line.
And defense doing a pretty decent job against these large backs that are coming at them, being JV kids, doing a good job. And quite frankly, I really hope they keep them out. This clock runs out.
So 1st and 10 Lions football at the Raiders' 22-yard line. Get Ortiz, the running back, rolling around. Well, there's a pass. Is in at quarterback that time was Braden Bernard. He's a freshman. He threw it behind the intended receiver.
Yeah, tried just do a simple little, not even 5-yard out. It was more like a 3-yard out, and just didn't quite get the ball to the receivers. Now the starting quarterback is going to come back into the game.
Just wanted to get the freshman in there, let him throw one, and now White back in there. 2nd and 10 for the Lions from the Raiders' 22-yard line. In front of that 47-22 lead and winding down here. Playing this one out, boy, bobbled snap. It's on the ground, and apparently White able to get it, or somebody was able to get it in there.
Yeah, it looked like he tried to pull out too early. Ball got up to him, but he was trying to get out of there, and the ball hit the ground, but Raiders not quite able to get on top of that one as we have 30 seconds to go in the game.
3rd and 9. Lions from the 22 of the Raiders. Again, White under the center. Gives. That's Ortiz, but he's able to turn the corner, and boy, Hill able to hang on to him, and then he gets some help out there by Caleb Hemby.
Yeah, Hemby put a pretty good shot on him. 10 seconds to go, and looks like Baxter's not going to run another play. We're going to let this one, let the clock run out and call this one good.
So the Raiders finish the season at 6-3, 3-0 in district play, and with a 47-22 win over the Baxter Springs Lions. And the Raiders at home Friday, playoff game against Girard. We'll be back with the unofficial stat scoring summary and a visit with Coach Mark Smith after we take a break. You're listening to High School Football on 103.5 FM.
If you're in the mood for shopping, visit Pittsburgh's Meadowbrook Mall. Pittsburgh's original one-stop shopping center has a lot to offer. A great variety of clothing and shoes for the whole family, a large selection of gifts, sporting goods, events, and entertainment, plus terrific places to eat, and you can enjoy the newest movies in 8 theaters. Shop the comfortable and convenient atmosphere at Pittsburgh's Meadowbrook Mall. There's always something happening at Pittsburgh's Meadowbrook Mall.
Advanced technology, comprehensive quality care. That's Canar Eye Care. We have the newest technology, but we never lose sight of what's most important, our patients. Eye care has changed dramatically in recent years, and we've been there for you every step of the way. At Canar Eye Care, patients spend time with doctors. Total eye care from contact lenses, including bifocal contacts, treatment of disease, and surgical co-management. Canar Eye Care, the clear choice.
Find them fast in names and numbers.
When you get engaged and need to pay for the wedding, when you have a baby and need to start that college savings account, it seems like the best moments in life can come with some real financial challenges. What's yours? At Commerce Bank, we find solutions so you can focus on enjoying life. Visit us online at commercebank.com or at a branch near you. Commerce Bank, challenge accepted. Member FDIC.
Jocksnitch has all your hometown needs to get you geared up for the football game. New Pitt State gear has already arrived, such as hats, tees, sweatshirts, license plates, koozies, and even tees for your dog. We are your stop to make before headed to tailgate. There's only one Gorilla Nation, and there's only one Gorilla Gear headquarters, Jocksnitch Sporting Goods. Check us out in downtown Pittsburgh and Parsons.
You got the sports look of today. Sporting goods from Jocksnitch.
Rob Strand back with Randy Southard. Frontenac knocks off Baxter Springs 47-22. And before we talk with Mark Smith, let's go over some of the stats in the scoring summary. Could take a little bit. The Baxter Springs Lions, Trey White, 4 carries, a dozen yards, and a touchdown. Tyler Price, 5 carries, 15 yards. Narciso Ortiz had 25 carries, 156 yards in the score. Gage Piper, 4 carries, 18 yards. A.J. Himes, a couple carries for 13. Blythe Ipock, a couple carries for 11. Trey White through the air, 7 completions, 17 attempts, 93 yards and a touchdown. He was intercepted once. Braden Bernard attempted one pass. It fell incomplete. Stephen Namello was 1 for 1, 35 yards. Frontenac Raiders, Jake Wilbert, 11 carries, 112 yards, 2 touchdowns. Peyton Brown, 6 carries, 8 yards and a score. Cooper Lloyd, 3 carries, -2. Alex Johnson, 5 carries for 44 yards and 2 touchdowns. And Brock Edmond, a carry for 11 yards. Peyton Brown through the air, 11 completions, 13 attempts, 113 yards, 2 touchdowns. He was intercepted once. Jake Wilbert, 1 for 1 on a halfback option. That was good for 50 yards. So those are the unofficial stats. And scoring summary, basically the Raiders got off to a 7-0 lead with 10:42 remaining first quarter on a 2-yard run by Brown, extra point by Harris. Then in the second quarter, Brown to Loy, a 3-yard touchdown by Harris, good on the extra point. Frontenac led at 14-0 with 9:56 remaining in the first half. 7:45 remaining in the first half. Baxter scored, 25-yard touchdown pass. White to Namello. Leon good on the extra point. It was 14-7. Frontenac led, 7:45 remaining in the first half. Then tied it up, did Baxter on a 11-yard run by Ortiz. Leon good on the extra point. 14-14 tie with 5:40 remaining in the first half. Then 5 minutes remaining. Jake Wilbert, 59-yard touchdown run. Harris good on the extra point. Frontenac led at 21-14 with 5 minutes remaining in the first half. Then the Raiders scored with 49 seconds left in the first half on an 8-yard pass from Brown to Wilbert. Harris good on the extra point. Frontenac 28-14 with 49 seconds remaining in the first half. That's where we were at halftime. And then the Raiders took control in the second half. And 47-22 win over Baxter Springs. The Raiders finish the regular season at 6-3, 3-0. District champs play Girard at home on Friday at 7 o'clock. And boy, Coach, this is one of those games you lead up to after the big win last week, and you already clinched the district, and you're playing the Baxter Springs team. You look at it on tape, big physical team, and you got out again, like you have most weeks, got out to that early lead, but they responded, tied it up, and kind of anxious moments there.
They did, but before we start, you guys have hot chocolate in this heated room. This is unbelievable.
Those guys do. I say no. I'm sure the coaches are uncomfortable out there, so I'll stick with them, guys.
Fourth quarter, I felt it in my toes, but Baxter came out, and we knew they would on senior night. Played hard. They were big up front. We couldn't run the ball very well. We got to the edge a little bit. We use our short passing game as a kind of an extension of our running game, and our guys did a great job in the open field, and our receivers did a good job blocking. But I thought we played pretty clean on offense, which was great to see with that weather. So we threw the ball a lot better than I thought we would. And our defense, I know we gave up some great big plays there, but we'll be all right for next week in the playoffs.
Well, it seemed like kind of a tale of about toward the end of the first half. The rest of the contest, when they tied it at 14-all with 5:40 remaining in the first half, then we immediately responded, come at 5 minutes, run by Wilbert. You got that 21-14 lead, then attack another one late. And then it seemed like after that, maybe the defense adjusted a little bit, kind of had things in control.
Yeah, we did. We were misaligned on a few things. They did a few unbalanced plays, and we didn't get lined up correctly. But they played really hard in that first half. Their big boys blocked well. Their running backs ran well. That receiver made a couple great catches. But like you said, we were responding. That's great to see. Our kids are growing up. The adversity doesn't bother them. They come back and make a play on offense or special teams, and I thought special teams were huge. I thought they had to go 80 or 90 yards a lot, and we had great field position all night.
And, you kept the quarterback White kind of uncomfortable back there. A lot of pressure. He was thrown under pressure, made some throws, and then a few times our defensive backs were there, just didn't make the play. Their receivers went up and got a few, but all in all, they were probably in the right position.
Oh, they were. They were right where they wanted to be. They were disappointed they didn't make the play. They knew they got their butt chewed on the sideline, but they're going to make those plays most of the time. That's what we're happy about. Our D-line got a lot of pressure, like you said, made White uncomfortable. He's a pretty good quarterback, but we just got to be better against the run a little bit inside, and because we know Girard's going to do that next week, and it's going to be a good challenge.
And, of course, we said going into this game, you came off the big win, and nothing other than to finish off the season. It looked like the kids responded pretty well. You may have been a little lull after getting that lead, but hey, they're kids.
It's a hard week after a big win like that against Columbus. I thought our kids had a really good week of practice. The weather was difficult because it was 75 yesterday. We all was actually sweating at practice, and you come in here and it's 40 at kickoff. So that's a big adjustment for kids, and we just aren't used to the weather yet. So it was great to have almost a playoff type weather game right before the playoffs for our kids to prepare. But our kids are excited for the future, and they know how important next week's going to be, and just keep the season going.
And a rematch with the Girard, you open the season with them, but boy, you got a couple of teams that are vastly different from game one, I think.
Oh, definitely. I told them right after the game, actually, I said, I know Girard believes they're a lot better than they were week one, but I guarantee we're 10 times better than we were week one. So it's going to be the team that plays better defense, takes care of the ball, and just executes, probably going to win the game next week.
And, of course, you go into one like these worried about the injury situation. Looked like a few kids are a few dings in there, but anything major? Or?
Nothing major. We could have played Cooper Loy if we needed to, but we knew we didn't need to. We can hopefully get them back for next week and be full go with everybody, and we're just going to have to win as a team next week.
Okay. Appreciate you coming up here. Go enjoy and film in the morning.
I gave them the morning off.
Oh,
so,
bye.
Yeah, I'm gonna have film, but they're gonna sleep in. So.
There you go. Okay, boy. Well, they got time to prepare, so
That's
they
right.
can enjoy this one a little while. Appreciate you coming up here. Good job. That was Mark Smith, and of course the Raiders finished at 6-3 overall, 3-0 in district, claim the district title, and we'll play Girard Friday at 7 at home in the opening round of the playoffs, and should be a good one. So that about does it from Baxter Springs. The Frontenac Raiders knock off the Lions 47-22, and appreciate Zach's job back at the radio station, the board op, of course, Randy Southard and Keith Adkins on the stream. If you have any complaints, you can call them at the station from 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, and we'll pass the log to them. Frontenac knocks off Baxter Springs 47-12. We'll do it Friday at home against Girard, and you've been listening to High School Football on 103.5 FM.
If you're in the mood for shopping, visit Pittsburgh's Meadowbrook Mall. Pittsburgh's original one-stop shopping center has a lot to offer. A great variety of clothing and shoes for the whole family, a large selection of gifts, sporting goods, events, and entertainment, plus terrific places to eat, and you can enjoy the newest movies in 8 theaters. Shop the comfortable and convenient atmosphere at Pittsburgh's Meadowbrook Mall. There's always something happening at Pittsburgh's Meadowbrook Mall.
Advanced